Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back to the channel. Today is April 1st, guys. Big channel announcements today. Thanks for hanging out. Got a big stream planned. Thank you for hanging out. So we'll let it fill for a second here, and we'll get into it. Real quick though, I just want to get to know you guys a little bit. New stream, new day. You know, it's Monday. Hopefully you guys aren't too stressed out. Classics on the horizon. Let me know where you guys are coming from, man. I'd like to get a feel, you know, where you guys are at. What age? Where you're from? What country? Let's warm up a little bit. Let's break the ice a little bit. You know, new stream, new day. It's gonna be a fun stream, guys. So the music's a little loud. All right, man. Appreciate it. A lot of Swedes in the house. What's up, guys? Yeah, man, I like Sweden. I was in Sweden last year for a gaming thing. It's fun. I like breaking the ice. I think that's going to be kind of the tradition. You know, we start the stream, we get to know each other a little bit. Some new people maybe in the house. Russia. Oh, damn, got some Russian. Island Islands. That sounds exotic. Online, what's up, username? What's up, dude? Never missing the stream. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. So I have a major channel announcement, but we're gonna do it momentarily once we hit to the 10-minute mark. Everyone's still filling up here. Actually, a lot of youngins in the house. I'm always surprised by that. People in their early 20s, 21, 19, 21. You know, they're pretty young, man. Well, they were like 6 years old when Classic came out. That's crazy. Most of us are in the same age group. I'm 28, for those of you guys who didn't know. 28 years old from sunny California. It's really starting to feel nice here, guys. The weather is really heating up. We're getting mid-70s weather. Birds are chirping. The bees are buzzing. The flowers are blooming. My nose is getting stuffy because I got the seasonal allergies, but it's we're getting closer, boys. One thing I like about the warmer weather, too, you can start drinking iced coffee again. And, you know, when it's really cold out, you don't want to drink iced coffee. But when it's summer, there's nothing like double fisting some iced coffees, ladies and gentlemen. It is quite a nice beverage to sip on. 44. Got some older heads in here with some stripes. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Yeah, we're going to talk about all kinds of combos today. We're going to get more into the leveling theory craft. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Thanks for joining the stream today. Where is the... Alright. So I have a major channel announcement, guys. Major channel announcement. I've been, you know, we've been doing the duo leveling, these workshops for the past couple days. And I've just really seen how strong paladins are. I think paladins are just so cool. And, you know, especially in a dual leveling environment, free mount, man, they can generate seals, they can generate mana, they can generate health, they have all these oh shit buttons, like, so good in a dual leveling environment, so strong, and it's really got me thinking. It's had me thinking, and, I don't know, man, Horde is kind of whack, dude. I don't know. I'm thinking about going Alliance. I'm thinking about, you know, throwing a curveball, going Alliance, and, you know, all this, we've been doing these rogue theory crafting too. Like, I'm really into rogues now, man. I don't know, like the ambush spec has got me hype. It's got me hype. I'm thinking about rogues, and all the utility they bring to the table. You know, all the synergy they have, man. I don't know, guys. I'm thinking about going rogue. I'm thinking about going maybe even gnome rogue. You know, gnomes are pretty cool, man. Little cute gnome, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, Horde is cool and all, but I mean, you have paladins, guys. Like, you have Blessing of Salvation, you have Blessing of Sanctuary, fucking Rogue opening up on people in World PvP, cheap shot, taking them out, erasing them. I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? I feel like it's my calling, man. My heart tells me go Orc Hunter. But my brain is just screaming at me, and it's telling me that Gnome Rogue is the play. I think I may have to do it. I think I may have to do it. Like, you know, Escape Artist, that racial is fire, you know, so good in PvP. You know, you just bring so much, dungeon and raid utility as a rogue. God, the sick cleave damage as a rogue. Oh my god, dude, so good. Stealth, love stealth. So much just pink hair gnome rogue. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, female. Yep. Some of you are picking it up. I'm just trolling you guys. Fuck gnome rogues. Yeah, we going hard, boys. We're rolling deep. Loktar. But welcome to the stream, guys. It is April Fool's, right? So, April Fools. That's funny. Alright, guys. Welcome. We're going to get into this now. So, welcome back to another speed leveling Theorycraft workshop. We've been in the lab. Yesterday we were doing some more testing. I got really excited. So yesterday we were talking about rogue duo leveling was kind of the focus, actually. So for a while now, I was really struggling to find reasons to get into rogue from a duo leveling perspective. It seemed like they didn't bring much to the table as far as utility. As far as buffs and some of the more straightforward things like movement speed, things like that. But one thing I'd failed to consider is just the raw damage and like the tempo that you can generate with a rogue, and this whole idea that you can spec to optimize backstab and ambush damage has got me really excited.
Paladin, but my guild voted horde. Feel ya, bro.
Doug, donated $5, man. Thank you for the 5, man. Welcome everybody to the stream. Yeah, I'm just trolling you guys for the record, man. April Fools. I would never play a gnome rogue. It'd probably be my least favorite class and race combination in the game. But yeah, anyway, this rogue dual leveling stuff has got me excited, and we were testing it yesterday, and it was a lot of fun, guys, especially in the early levels, like mid-20s. I think 24 is when you get really everything that you need to do it in a really high-quality way. That's when it really starts to shine. Like, mobs are getting erased. They're getting globaled with ambush, and we'll get into the specs today, and I'll try and speak on some of the advantages and disadvantages, some of the stuff that we're feeling. It'll be fun. I also want to talk about some other new ones too, like Hunter, Shaman. There was also Double Paladin. These are some juicy ones that we were trying out a little bit last night that I want to talk to you guys about, and we can flesh them out together. Loktar Ogar means victory or death, so why people using it as a greeting? I mean, I'm not trying to use it as a greeting. It's just a badass thing to say, you know. Should I roll on the new meme Elysium server? Man, I don't know, dude. I mean, I've been hearing that server has lots of like Russian players on it and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, not to say anything bad about the RU community. They got their own thing going on, but maybe if you were playing in NA or something like that, that would be something you'd have to consider. I thought it was kind of primarily a Russian server at this point. Welcome though, guys. Warrior Priest. Yeah, we can get into it. If you guys have any questions about leveling for the record is just my favorite aspect of the game. We'll get into it now that we got a good amount of people in here. So here we go, guys. Welcome. As you can see on the stream title, I titled the stream, Why Duo Leveling is a Game Changer in Classic WoW. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, guys, but I also don't want to understate how much I really love what's going on right now, and how vanilla WoW makes you come full circle, man. Like a perfect example is like right off the bat, you see Tauren. You would think Tauren Warrior, best in slot tank, so much health bonus, like super good tank, and they can go for all these defensive talents. And then as you get into it and you learn about the meta of tanking and how it's shifting, something that you would think of potentially at first glance as the worst tank is best in slot potentially, which is Troll. You know what I mean? If you're really speccing for TPS and you're going to go to that Fury Defiance build, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of counterintuitive, and a lot of stuff with vanilla, it's so complex that you can go full circle on it, but there's still nothing black and white. Is that a fair statement? In vanilla, nothing's really black and white. It's so hard to just say this is better than this, because there's so many caveats and nuances and permutations. It's really hard to speak on this stuff with vanilla, but it's truly a friggin' awesome game, guys. And before we get into it, I just put this disclaimer here. I am very much still a student of the game. I am far from some kind of, elite gamer or something like that. I'm still figuring stuff out, but it's really fun figuring stuff out with you guys, and I do know some stuff that I'd like to share with you. So that's it for the disclaimer. So we'll get into this now. Why do I think dual leveling is Troll for life? Yeah, Troll is really sick, guys. Troll Warrior starts with a throwing weapon. How flavorful is that? You're throwing little tomahawks at people at level 1. That is awesome, man. Also, the beast bonus as you're leveling and stuff, that's pretty sweet. There's some bosses in raid bosses that are beasts as well. Not a whole lot, but there's definitely some raid bosses that are beasts, and you know, the combat regen, and then pretty much any troll race. If you go troll, you can do it with any race. You can take off all your gear before the fight, put it back on right before you pull, pop a demonic rune, pop your racial, and you're getting that 30% haste buff, or really close to it. You know, you get between a 10 and 30% haste buff based on your health, and that's just a cool little mechanic that you have access to if you go troll. Plus the animations on troll. Oh man, dude, animate the troll animations with the big two-hander, these big sweeping. It almost looks like they're doing capoeira, right? Like they're like throwing their legs up. It's awesome, man. Throwing weapons are a meme. I mean, it's cool at level 1 though, man. Like when you're creating a new warrior, being able to range pull, it's pretty sweet. Charge is sometimes a liability, you know what I mean? You want to you know, you won't have to face pull. You could actually chuck something at, or if something's running away, maybe you can chuck a throwing weapon at him. I'm having an incredibly rough time choosing between Warlock or Hunter. You and me both, brother. You and me both. Yeah. Hey, trolls. Some people have a strict policy though of not playing races with that don't have shoes. Before we get into this, guys, does anybody feel that same way? Some people, if you're the fact that it really bothers people that trolls, their boots or greaves or shoes or whatever, they don't show. A lot of people that really like is a non-starter when it comes to trolls. I always found that kind of funny. It never really bothered me too much. Literally me. Never play races with shoes, so you're the opposite. You're like a real, you know, hobbit feet exposed or bust. I couldn't care less what my tune looks like. That's the thing. One of the main things when I ask people why they play female characters, potentially, if they, you know, just are their dudes, I always envision myself as the character. It's kind of how, like, my little low-key RP thing, like, I would envision my character to be the representation of myself in-game. I ask people why they play female characters, and they like the animations. Animations are a big deal to a lot of people. It might even be the biggest deal. If people don't like the way the animations look, they won't play it. And there's some pretty cool animations, I have to say. Alright. So let's start off with this. I'll try and go slow and steady, because I can tend to ramble on a lot. I can tend to get really disjointed with my thoughts, and especially with classic WoW, man, there's so much to unpack that I just got to tread lightly. So here's my thing, guys. If someone were to ask me right now, why do I think duo leveling, or group leveling in general, is a big deal? To me personally, I want to share some thoughts with you guys. So leveling is my favorite aspect of the game overall. Not to say I don't enjoy endgame content, not to say that I don't enjoy PvP, but there's something so therapeutic about leveling to me. Just being able to enjoy the game at your own pace and have the music and ambience running in the background and just kind of zone out. I don't know if any of you guys feel me on that, but I feel like without a really good leveling experience that feels like a journey, the game wouldn't be able to stand. I think like leveling is like the backbone of the game. It took me a while to like say that because it almost sounds a little bit noob kind of to say something like that. Oh, we got a donation, man. $2 from Thorlax Attacks.
Bro, I love your streams. Pumped for vanilla.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the $2, man. And we got a Twitch Prime sub as well. This is great, man. Favox, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Oh my God, Sarmonican with the dude. This guy's gonna. I swear, this guy's gonna give me high blood pressure, man. Sarmonican with the fat donos every day, man. What is going on right now? Every day there's more zeros on these. I swear to God. 100, 1,000, 10,000 bits, dude. Oh my God, dude. Thank you, Sarmonican. Holy crap, man. Dude, friggin' legendary right there. I owe you quite a few beers, my man. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys. I mean, the dual leveling and group leveling. This is why it means a lot to me. It creates a meta around leveling. You see what I'm saying? For the longest time, my position on leveling was that it's the type of thing that if you're going to be efficient, you go out by yourself, out into the open world, you start killing shit, you don't loot stuff, you don't worry about professions, you go out there, you kill stuff hyper efficiently, and that's it. I used to think that grinding was the best way, man, to level up. We got another Twitch Prime, dude. TBDM Addict, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Yo, thank you guys. Thank you, Twitch guys. Thank you for giving my Twitch a shot, man. And another $10 from Justin, dude. You guys are spoiling me today, keeping a roof over my head, man. keeping the ice cold milk in my fridge and the Telebeam bananas in my kitchen. Thank you, Justin. There's nothing more. So Machka Strashka says there's nothing more sad than leveling in an empty MMO or MMO that pulls people apart instead of together. Absolutely. And even though I loved leveling, this was my position on it initially. I was thinking that going out solo and grinding supplemented by the occasional quest. I think a lot of this has to do with me being a hunter player and how efficient the combat how amazingly efficient your combat is for a hunter in general. But that used to be my position on it, and it did kind of feel bad, you know. That's very much a solo type of thing. So the idea that duo leveling or group leveling can be the most efficient line of play, and you're aligning the incentive to be a hardcore player, which is a big part. You know, people want to take pride in their reputation on the server, their reputation in their character. A lot of people want to be seen as a good player, right? You're aligning this hardcore, try-hard, min-max incentive with the social incentive, with the idea that you want to play with friends, play as part of a group. You're aligning these two things. So the most efficient line of play is also the most social line of play. And the other thing is that dual leveling is creating this robust meta that we have still yet to explore, guys. And not even just duo, trio leveling. I'm not going to say confidently that trio leveling is bad, or quad leveling, or 5-man leveling. There's so much to unpack here. It's like this unexplored area of the game. And it's really, really got me excited. The fact that there's now a meta related to leveling even, you know? So when people talk about endgame content and they talk about clearing out MC and BWL and AQ and Noxorama super fast and really efficiently, people love to min-max that stuff and really try and push their class to their limits. This is a whole nother avenue to approach that with. Another $5 in the chat donation from Carver Petty. Love the streams, dude. What would be the best class to level with a priest? Do you take class quests into consideration? Yes, absolutely. I will get into that, man.
Streams, dude. What would be the best class to level with his priest?
Right off the bat,
Do you take class quests into consideration?
I'd say with priest, I would go priest. I'd go priest warlock, or I'd go priest warrior. I check priest warrior. Oh my god, dude. Whoa. What the fuck? What does that even mean? What? Yo, someone help me with what this means, dude. What is this? Sarmonican is gifting 50 tier 1 subs to Carlos gaming community? What is going on right now, man? Holy shit, man. What? I've never even seen that, dude. What is that, dude? That is insane, man. Thank you, Sarmonican, man. El Rab start with the subscription on Twitch Prime too. Jesus, have you guys ever seen that? I don't even really know how this Twitch stuff works, but this shit is crazy right now, dude. Thank you, Sarmonican. I can't thank you enough, man. Holy shit. I don't know, man. Freaking, I'll mow your lawn, Sarmonican. Just give me the address. I'll head over there and start mowing your lawn and gardening for you or something, man. Just let me know. But thank you, man. Shoot, man. So yeah, dual leveling, it's just this unexplored meta, and it's so exciting, and it's accessible. That's my next point, guys. It's so accessible to everyone. All of you watching right now can do this together. All it takes is you and your buddy, man. Isn't that the essence of MMOs? Isn't that the essence of motherfucking gaming? Isn't that the essence of life, dude? You and your homie, like just one-on-one, mano-y-mano, you're going out there, you're taking over the world. That like speaks to me. I always love that in games. Like even when it comes to Halo 2, duos, like what do they call it? Double team. That was my shit. I always loved just being with your partner, you know, your partner in crime, going out there crushing it. And it's something that's great. Like everybody has access to that, you know. Everybody has friends that they can play with, and it's accessible to all. So that's why it's very exciting to me. You're aligning the hardcore incentive with the social incentive. It's an unexplored meta where you're picking different talents, you're picking different specs, you're picking different professions, you're altering your playstyle that you would normally do. Everything gets shifted around in a group dynamic. And more often than not, people don't know how to like really take advantage or how to shift it around. So maybe that's one of the reasons why duo leveling and stuff has maybe historically built up a reputation for being inefficient or something like that. The idea that people haven't gone into it with the mindset of we're gonna like play in this complementary kind of way, but it is really exciting to me, guys. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me see what you guys have any thoughts. Cargus loves the double team. You troll, dude. Double Team was a pretty good playlist. Absolutely, man. I freaking love Halo 2. That was my thing, and I went on to start my first business with my Double Team partner, Chris. I love the idea of being two people, and that's the other thing of why I think duo leveling is a sweet spot. Yes, we can talk about mob density and how it hits the sweet spot where you don't have too many people and mobs aren't dying too fast. But another thing is that with two people, you can manage that. That's just one dude you're hitting up every day. If you're gonna roll with 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, you're it's hard to manage those people. Someone's not gonna show up. Someone's gonna have a messed up schedule, and it's gonna muddy the waters. There's some kind of value here where it's just one dude. You're hitting them up every day, like, hey man, you ready to level? You get in, and it's just you guys versus the world. I like that a lot. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So here's the leveling strategy. Here's like my general thoughts at this point. I'm no longer gonna say that one line of play is better than another, because to be honest, I don't know. It's like an evolution. Your thought process is gonna change over time. If I look at the guides and the videos and stuff that I made a year ago, my perspective is pretty different on a lot of this stuff. So when it comes to leveling strategy, this is my view at this current point in time, and it's subject to change. But my current opinion on leveling strategy right now is that the most efficient line of play is to duo level. Primarily questing, so questing is going to be your focus. It's hard to put an exact number, but if I had to ballpark it, it'd probably be like 75-25, where you're trying to quest primarily, supplementing it by grinding as you're going between objectives. But I do believe that duo leveling is the optimal line of play. But there is so much to consider here when you start thinking about optimal line of play. You really have to think about what your skill level, your experience level with the game is. Now, if you're some new player, new to World of Warcraft, never killed Hager, never gotten anything, like it's a brand new world, that's going to be a radically different perspective, and you're going to recommend something radically different to that person than someone who's a wizard tier player, who's played on all the private servers, has realm firsts, knows all the quests, and is just like tweaking stuff to optimize it and refine it. These are two totally different buckets here. But here's the general thing that I would put out, and I want to see what you guys think about this. The general thing I want to put out is that if you're a new player, grinding is weighted higher. What do you guys think about this? Because if you're a new player, you're going to have so much time where you're just lost in the sauce, walking around. You don't know where to go. Your quest log has like 4 quests in it. You don't know where these quests are. And you're going to spend so much time lollygagging around the world, walking around, asking, where the fuck is Mancrick's wife? Where do I turn this quest in? Like, just Googling stuff. That grinding is a more consistent XP. That's going to be like pretty good bang for your buck. So if you're a new player, you can get out there and you can just focus on killing stuff really efficiently and just monitor how much XP you're getting per hour. You can download an add-on for that. So that's my take on that. Let me stop right there and see what you guys think about that. If you were a new player, do you guys think that grinding would be weighted as a higher, would be valued higher than questing? I want to see what you guys think about this. And I'm speaking to myself here too, because if I rewind a year ago, I was very much in the same boat. Also, another factor when it comes to grinding over questing is it depends on a class, what class you're playing. Some classes are really efficient at grinding. A hunter can just load up his entire inventory with arrows and a few stacks of meat and head out there and just kill shit for hours on end and be really efficient with that. A warlock can do the same. A paladin can potentially do the same, actually. But something like a priest or something, like, yes, you're efficient from a damage per mana efficiency standpoint, but is the kill speed that amazing? Probably not. Or, if you see what I'm saying? So depending on what class you are too, like grinding and questing will be like weighted differently. But I feel like this is the general rule of thumb. If you're some wizard tier 200 IQ legendary player, played on all the private servers, you're going to want to quest. You're going to know where all the quests are, and you're going to know how to weave them into these giant arcs where you don't have to go to a city for like hours and hours, and you come back perfectly, turn in a bunch of quests, train in the right skills you need. Let's see what you guys think. If you're a new player, don't focus too much about maxing out your leveling speed. Just enjoy it. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, absolutely, Sverge. Yeah, I mean, the best game of all time. Enjoy it at your own pace. I guess this is just almost like a thought experiment, just to think about it from an efficiency standpoint. By all means, you know, if you're new to the game, don't rush it, enjoy it, because that's probably what brought us in and captivated us the most, those noob moments at the end of the day. Imagine if we were to go back in time and some amazing player were to just like gift us all this wisdom and we were able to just play at a high level immediately. We may not love the game in the same way. So I agree what you're saying there, and that's something I struggle with when I you know, think about putting out guides and stuff like that. Like, you know, what is the impact that this is going to have on the player's experience? But at the same time, you could say the same thing about real life. You know, we're learning all this stuff about science and genetics and all these advancements. It doesn't mean you should stop doing that stuff, you know, but you should still know how to stop and smell the roses. One good thing, though, is that even at this stage, you know, playing the game for so long, I still think, you know, even just messing around on the PTR and doing all this crazy shit, like, I was worried at one point that maybe that would conflict with my ability to like suspend reality and play the game and just hop in on a level 1 and enjoy it like I did back in the day. But for some reason it doesn't. I could make a level 1 right now and I would still be immersed, even knowing what we know now. And you know, I don't know. Somehow the game is just able to do it. You're able to suspend reality. Yo, Cargos, my man, what's up today? Hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing good. But yeah, so if you're a wizard tier player and you know the vast majority of where they're at, and you have a plan and you're playing your class pretty optimally, you'd probably want to go for that high mobility single target playstyle duo. You know, something like a druid warlock, something like that, where you have hots and dots, you can move. I do kind of concede, Navik, if you are watching this, man, that probably is the optimal line of play, because you're able to kill stuff really elegantly and still quest, you know, really not detract any speed from your questing, right? You're able to just move through mobs and kill them efficiently while you're moving. This is opposed to some of the other the god tier duo leveling combinations where you have to actually gather up a bunch of mobs, go to a high mob density area, throw down consecrates, throw down blizzards, whatever it is, and kill people in a specific area. That's sort of where my thought process is right now. We'll get into the comps in a minute. Also, it's hard to exactly tell where this lies, but if you were to solo level as a wizard tier player with certain classes like a hunter, a warlock, or a mage, it's potentially optimal. I don't know. I mean, it's really, really hard to say. But that definitely is a viable line of play. My gut, my heart tells me that duo leveling is, if executed like to its max potential, would be the best way of going about things. Considering if we are going to say that questing is going to be the most efficient line of play, and you don't have to worry about grinding as much, then to me that makes me value group leveling higher, right? Because it's going to be much, much easier to complete these quests together as part of a group. Cargos, how's it going, man? What's up, Pit Dog? I had a question. I know hunters are an amazing, if not the best, solo levelers. But if you're going to duo level with a class, what would you recommend to do with a hunter? We're going to talk about that very topic today, Pit Dog. I have some thoughts on it, man. Right off the bat, it's probably another hunter or a feral druid. And we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll break it down. I want to get into the talents and start fleshing stuff out. But I don't know, guys. Does anyone like really disagree with what I'm saying here? Like, I'm still learning, like with you guys. You know, we're together in this. Like, I don't know for sure, but this is based on everything I've learned over the past months. This is where I'm at right now with this stuff. I think that there are enough quests to take you almost all the way to 60. There will be certain areas where you will have these monster XP per hour peaks, and you know, you will have to grind out maybe for a little bit, but there's a lot of quests in the game. The ability to complete these quests is greatly accelerated by having a partner with you, and there's all types of minor accelerations too when you are going to level in a group or in a duo. Like, it seems silly, guys, but just being able to put your friend on follow, just to right click him and hit follow and just go run, you know, take a leak, grab a beer, wash your face, you know, do some pull-ups, do something, you know, take that little refresher, and you're still being productive, is insane. You're still getting some trickle-down XP, and you can kind of shift off with that, right? Then he goes right after that, and you're able to just keep it going, right? Also stuff like shared quest rewards. There's a lot of stuff where, like, all right, man, I'm going to go, you know, skill up first aid real quick. You head off in the productive direction, and I'll go join up with you, and then I head over there, and he's able to loot the quest item, and we both get rewards to it. We both get credit for the reward. There's all types of like these minor accelerations that you get that are kind of unquantifiable when you are leveling in a duo. obviously there's an opportunity cost of getting ganked. Like you're drastically less likely to be fucked with if you are with, you know, a partner, if you're leveling with someone. Um, and you're much less likely to die, especially if you're one of the first times going through the content. Question: does find minerals, find herbs count toward the 5-second rule? No, man. No, it doesn't. Good question though. Good question. I'm duo leveling with a Chinese speed leveler, AFK to 60. Hey, Platinum, what's up, man? Good to see you in the house here today. Kilgore in the house, guys. Hey. Hey, everybody. Paladin Mage duo leveling. I could talk about that. Yeah, it's a good question, man. That's a good question. Wow, a lot of people in Twitch. Man, 118. Thank you, everybody, for giving the Twitch a shot. Appreciate you guys. So what's my opinion on Paladin Mage duo leveling? Here's my opinion on it. I don't know how you want to play it. So this is my opinion on it. Like, if you can't really play it as a healer, right? The mage by himself has access to an infinite value loop. Their whole package with Cone of Cold, with Frost Nova, with Blizzard, with Arcane Explosion, they by themselves can kill an indefinite amount of mobs, mana permitting, as part of an infinite value loop. What do they need you as the paladin for, is what I'm saying. You can't really sit there and just like single target heal them because they're not really taking damage if they're playing it correctly. The number one thing I would say is you'd be able to give them the 3-minute bop if they fuck up, or you're going to give them wisdom. Wisdom will benefit them massively, don't get me wrong. The other way of line of play, which would actually accelerate the damage, is if you were to play the paladin as protection holy. That way you could drop down consecrates. But then you're taking a whole bunch of damage kind of needlessly. Like, why are you taking that damage when Blizzard could slow these mobs and nobody would be taking this damage? So you can make it work, don't get me wrong. Paladins are god tier duo levelers. They bring so much to the table. Free mount, blessings, auras, all this, that you can make it work. Paladin anything will be fine duo leveling. There's a variety of ways you can play the paladin in the duo leveling combination. But as far as going for like mage AoE grinding with the paladin and stuff, it seems a little bit clunky to me. Duo Mage is insane. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. M. Rocco Gears Cargo sup from Russia. So I'm really into Paladin but didn't like leveling. On the other hand, I'm in love with Warlock. Should I make my best friend play Pallylock? I would definitely recommend it. I think you're going to have a freaking fantastic time, M. Rocco. Paladin Warlock is, in my opinion, my favorite duo leveling combination for many reasons. I could talk about this for hours. I think they complement each other so well. Warlock and Paladin are both independently god tier duo levelers. You can play them as like multi-target dotting as you're moving from point A to point B. The Paladin's just focusing on keeping up the Warlock, and with hyper-efficient single-target heals, you can put Wisdom on him, you can put him Blessing of Light, and you're just throwing up Flash of Lights or downranked Holy Lights or whatever. Or you can play it in the sense where the Paladin gets up into melee range, throws on that Sword and Board, drops down Consecration with Retribution or active, and the Warlock goes in there and Hellfires or Rain of Fires. And you have so many oh shit buttons. You have double wipe prevention, double free mounts at 40. It is the nuts. It is the nuts. But Paladins are great, man. What class will be rolling in Classic? I'm not sure yet, man. I'm really on the fence between Hunter or Warlock. I don't know, man. It's every week it's like a new feeling. I don't know. I have like serious like existential crisis, cognitive dissonance going on right now. I'm supposed to be responsible right now, but this topic intrigues me so much. Damn you! I think there's something to be said about leveling, guys. I mean, some people consider leveling something they just want to get over with, right? They just want to get leveling over with and get through the game. But I almost feel like there's an analogy with life, like, you know, without that journey, what is the reward kind of worth, man? Like, you kind of need to go through some shit and some kind of boringness and some frustrations in order to like reap the benefits later and to enjoy them. I don't know. I really think leveling kind of makes the game, you know, and that's why every expansion of World of Warcraft, I've still enjoyed them immensely. I mean, like, particularly Burning Crusade. I really enjoyed Burning Crusade. I started to dip off a little bit with Wrath, I have to say, but I almost feel like that's why it doesn't have the same impact as the original game. I mean, it's not rocket science here, but they're not redoing the leveling path. The leveling is really important, man. Yeah. The journey is the destination. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, guys. I just think it's so fun, the fact that we can go out there with a partner and do the optimal thing and not feel like we're playing at some casual level, and we can explore. Like, there's so much to explore. Look at these talent trees, man. Let me bring up these talent trees. I had the talent trees here somewhere. Alright. I mean, check out these talent trees, guys. These are the best versions of the talent trees they've ever had. So good. Every point can move the needle in some capacity. There's so much depth with these that, no joke, you know, in 2019 across all the different classes, there's no black and white, wrong or right, cookie cutter build. Like there's wiggle room, man. And the thing about classic is, like, you really can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you actually do have to factor the open world into your line of play. Like, if you're gonna go some raid spec and then you're just completely useless potato mode in the out in the open world, that's a serious consideration. The respec cost is a serious consideration. People talk about a hybrid tax and all this, but I actually really like hybrids in vanilla. I think that they're awesome, man. Like, you know, it's not all about functioning in that min-maxed raid environment. Like, there's more to it than that. There's more stuff that you do out in the game when it comes to farming or dungeon, you know, helping friends through dungeons or whatever. I'm really so in love with these talent trees. I think they did such a good job with them. Yeah. All talent trees are good as long as you aren't looking for damage in the pally trees. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about it. There's a couple. There's some interesting stuff I want to talk about with you guys, particularly double paladin. I want to get your thoughts on that. I'll try and explain it. Hybrid tax is a myth. There's a lot of myths about vanilla. I don't know if you guys agree. One of the #1 myths, though, is that the game is simple. I do not think the game is simple. The talent trees alone add a lot of complexity, but it's really mainly the items and consumables create that real sandbox feel. It's the items and consumables, because they allow you to go beyond the limitations of your class. Now, on paper, you look at the class, and honestly, it doesn't even look that simple when you look at the classes. Look at shamans. Look how many freaking totems shamans have. How many totems do they have? Like 30 totems or something like that? They have so many totems. And the fact that you have to downrank, just that alone adds a lot of skill cap and complexity to it. But then, when you factor in the idea that there's consumables and items that allow you to go well beyond the limitations of your class and to find a win condition in PvP against really any other class in the game if you come prepared against them, I don't see any other iteration of WoW that function in the same way. And it's just, I don't know. I think vanilla, I almost feel like it happened by accident. Like, when you hear some of the devs talk about it, I feel like a lot of this stuff happened by accident, but they just came up with a friggin' masterpiece, man. Hey chat, did Cargos do Chamois yet? We didn't actually get into it yet, man. We're kind of doing a lot of foreplay type stuff today. Going through it. I'm having fun just chilling with you guys, though. We can get into it, man. We can get into it. A lot of people don't realize that leveling in vanilla is one of the biggest parts of the game, and that you miss a lot if you try to sprint to 60 instead of embracing the journey along the way. That's the thing, though. So you try and find this balance between being hyper efficient and enjoying the game. I think duo leveling, even though it is hyper efficient, provides a better format for having that same feeling you're talking about. You get to enjoy the game a little bit more. You have someone to bounce the experiences off of. You guys ever feel this way in real life? Like, imagine I go to, like, India right now. I just book a flight, round trip flight for myself. I go to India. I go on this miraculous, like, eat, pray, love journey. I'm over there eating gulab jamun with the homies over in India. I'm going on, like, I'm riding on an elephant. I'm doing all this crazy shit. I have, like, this amazing time, and I come back, but no one was there with me. No one was over in India with me. In, like, 20 years, if I forget that, like, or if it gets a little bit blurry, it's almost like it didn't even happen, you know? The fact that you're going through this arduous process with another person or with other people kind of just, like, makes it way better. I don't know. Like, you know, you have these kind of shared memories with people. It's kind of night and day. So even if you are doing the most hyper efficient thing, I feel like you can enjoy it and relish in it and cherish it a little bit more if you have another person there with you. You know what I mean? And then you have this idea that it's like, independently we would be strong, but together we're stronger. We have these complementary talents, so together we're actually performing better. We rely on each other a little bit. That's badass, man. Hell yeah, bro. Gulab jamun is awesome. Hell yeah, man. I love gulab jamun. Yeah, those little honey. I remember eating them as a little kid. My dad used to take me to the international market, and I'd walk in. The Indian guy was there. And I was like, "Hey, man, can I get some of those honey balls?" I used to call them honey balls. They're really good though. Gulab jamun. What the 9 hells is duo leveling? Scothy, it's really simple, man. It's leveling with your buddy. It's leveling with your friend, and doing so in a way where you can complement each other and make each other stronger. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so love these talent trees. Let's go back into the combinations. We can get into some of those now. But hopefully you guys understand why I like duo leveling so much. As someone who really thinks leveling is my favorite part of the game, this is a real game changer to me, man. I feel like the floodgates are open. There's a whole new angle of like mysterious shit that we can theory craft and min-max and play with that we haven't even thought about before. And you could optimize leveling strategies for 3-man, for 4-man, for 5-man, killing elites, like finding new spots. Like, I could go on and on and on. Alright, so we talked about leveling strategy. Let's see what I have up next here. Things to consider. Okay, the reason why I put this slide on here is that I was thinking that a lot of people have maybe a pessimistic view of dual leveling because they never really went into it with like someone who's playing at their skill level. Some people feel like they're better than their partner potentially, or that there's some kind of disparity in skill level. I would say if you are very skeptical of dual leveling right now, open your heart and mind a little bit and think about what it would be like if you went into it with someone who you really liked and respected, who you respected their skill level. You went into it, same play styles. I think that would change things, you know. So the mismatched player skill levels also, I think when people do partner up out in the open world, sometimes they're not familiar with the synergies between their classes or the best type of playstyle to execute together, and you have uncomplementary talent builds. All I would suggest is that it would be a radically different experience if you were to go into it together with a plan, with synergistic talents and professions. I think that might be the most amazing format to experience the game in. That's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm likely gonna do a level, and I'm gonna level up cooking as we go because it doesn't take too much time off your back to do that, and it's still gonna be the most efficient line of play, hopefully. It's truly fun as fuck, dude. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the social aspect is the reason I prefer it over retail. Absolutely. Like, so you're getting the social aspect. You're getting the. Oh man, I don't know. I'm a broken record at this point. Fuck it. Let me just keep going. So let me talk about duo versus trio versus quad, whatever, versus 5-man. So why do I think duo leveling in particular is my favorite? Like I said before, there's some personal bias here. I like the idea that it's just you and your homie, and it's just you together out in the open world, killing shit, you know, kicking ass, chewing bubble gum, whatever that expression is. I like that a lot. So when you get 3 people involved, one person is more likely to not be on at the right time. Same thing with 4 and 5-man. Also, the main thing when it comes to mob density, I think you start running into issues with mob density. Basically, at the 3-man mark, you're potentially, it's still going to be fun, man. I still think leveling as a trio, if you could have people that would show up on time and you would do it together, I still think that would be faster for sure than if you were to solo level as some new player, right? But there's potentially some issues here. Another thing that's interesting is grinding elites. So if you guys don't know, elites in Classic WoW, when you kill them, they give 200% XP. And also, once you get to 3 people in a party, I don't know the exact number. If anyone in the chat knows this, that would be sweet. I would love to know. But as soon as you get to 3 people in a party, so you and 2 other people, you start getting a little bonus to your XP. It's like a group XP bonus. But it is split 3 ways, right? So although you get a bonus, it's divided by 3. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's something like 15%. At the starting at when you get to 3 people, but I could be wrong on that. If someone knows the exact amount, that would be super helpful. But yeah, you start running into these mob density issues. But in duo, I still think you're at this kind of relative sweet spot where gathering quests, where it's telling you to pick up 10 of these items and they're not shared rewards, you can still do them. It'll feel bad, but it won't be like too inefficient where it moves the needle too much. And then in aggregate, you should still be more efficient overall. When you get to like trio and up, my thought on it at this point is that some of those gathering quests will no longer be kind of viable to do. You know, the respawns won't be able to keep up with 3 people. It'll just take too long. Yeah, so with I do think potentially this is something to be explored too. A 5-man leveling squad that was focused on optimal AoE grinding that goes to grind elites. If anyone has any experience with that, definitely share that in the comments. I think it would be really, really cool. Yeah, some reason I've heard 5 is better than 3. I've heard that as well, G-Steps. I have heard that as well from some really good experienced levelers that they like to get with 5 people and grind as efficiently as possible. That could be a private server thing though, G-Steps. I wonder if that like opinion they have is based on how crazy it is on the launch of a private server. But the main thing is if you were to 5-man and have a couple mages in there and have some really optimal AoE grinding composition, and you were going to go to like What's a good AoE grinding location for elites? Probably like Zinta Lore would probably be one. Outside of Zul'Farrak would be one. You know, those kind of like open world dungeon places would probably be pretty good. There's some places in Stranglethorn Vale that would be good, killing the trolls there. That's interesting. I want to explore that too. It takes a little bit. It's a little bit harder to explore that kind of stuff though, because you need four other people there, and you need to all, you know, have complementary specs and all that type of stuff. Oh yeah, South Winter Spring Demons. That's a good one too. Yep, that's a real good one. Who you leveling with, Cargos? Hey, Splooples, what's up, man? I don't know yet, man. I don't know. We'll see. I do. If I go Hunter, I'll probably go solo. It kind of just feels bad talking about all this. Then I'm gonna end up going solo Hunter. But we'll see. We're gonna talk about the Hunter duo leveling today, and maybe you guys can help me come up with some strats. You know, Russell, dude, good to see you, man. Yo, dude, good. Haven't seen you in a minute, Russell. Yeah, gulab jamun, man. I love the gulab jamun. Indian food is fire. I gotta say, Indian food is fire. Also, I found a whole new strat of when Classic launches. What I'm gonna do as far as food. There's this new service. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored, but I found this service that will like ship meals to you that you just have to microwave them. They're not frozen or anything. They're actually like fresh. I'm gonna stock them up in my fridge, so then when I'm playing, just pop it in the microwave 2-3 minutes, and then apparently you get this like chef-made food. Good to go. Still able to you know, keep the pain train rolling. But yeah, this is my thoughts on duo versus trio versus quad versus 5 man. I do think duo is kind of a sweet spot for a variety of reasons. What's the last private? I can't really speak on that directly, Sinzu, but I pretty much played on all of them, man. You are the metadon to my Classic WoW addiction. I don't know what that means, man, but thank you. Oh man. The leveling guides you make are really amazing, better than I've ever seen. Hey, thank you, Brutalis. That's another thing I want to announce to you guys right now. So I'm going to do another pass of the leveling guides. It seems ambitious. I also want to do endgame PvE guides for all classes and collaborate with a lot of people. I'm going to need a lot of help with that stuff because I don't have experience playing the majority of classes at endgame. But I'm going to do another pass at the leveling guides. So it's the nature of guides. You put them out and they're inherently going to be flawed. There's going to be stuff that you missed, some stuff that you said that was stupid. And people, that's the good thing about the internet. If you said something stupid, the internet's going to let you know. And there's all type of stuff that works on private servers. Mainly the main things that I'm getting a lot of flack for, like front shredding, front stabbing, stuff like the hamstring method, earthbind cutting. That stuff is all going to work, no problem. But it's really just those, actually. And just sitting down to proc talents. So I'm going to do another pass at the leveling guides and really refine them, and hopefully add some more production value and just make them even better for you guys. And we should hopefully have that before Classic officially launches. So stay tuned for that. That stuff's going to be coming out. Yeah, front stabbing is not going to work most likely. You know, 99% likely it's not going to be working. But it's okay, Jeff. You know why it's okay? Because front stabbing, as long as you're dual leveling, you can still pretty much backstab your way to victory as well. You can ambush and backstab your way. You just need someone to hold aggro for you. So let's get into the actual combinations, guys. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. Let's see how this shows up on the stream. Let me see if you can see this all right. Great content. Funnest class to level. What do you guys think, chat? What is the most fun? Let's not talk about efficiency as a little, point of comic relief here. What do you guys think in terms of just how cool the skills look, how good it feels, how satisfying it feels? Like, some spells are really satisfying, man. Like, Execute is super satisfying. What else? Like, honestly, some of the rogue skills sound really good, like just really juicy sounding. Mortal Strike on Warrior is pretty juicy. I love the sound of the Hunter bow. Just taking that arrow out of the quiver and just shooting and hearing that little pop. That's the closest thing in my life that I have to ASMR. I could listen to that, man. Someone just leveling through the Barrens or something like that. That's it for me right there. Let's see what you guys think. What the most fun class to level is. Fuck balance, man. Let's see what the most fun class is, man. Warrior. You think Warrior's the most fun? Cool. Cool. Major Warlock, Chamois, Protection Pally. I feel you there, man. Ooh, Elemental Shaman. Cool. Cool, yeah. Tauren's got the guns. That's a funny thing about Taurens. I'm interested to try that out with Tauren Hunters come Classic. So apparently it doesn't function this way in the private servers, but apparently Taurens are supposed to have a 3-yard bigger hitbox. So that's going to potentially give Tauren Hunters the ability to sit right on that line between melee and ranged, right on that dead zone line, with a little bit more finesse. So you'd potentially be able to, you know, shoot from range and then pop in a little bit more efficiently, hit him with a raptor strike. You maybe wouldn't clip as much and then head back out, and that potentially be a damage bonus. And it doesn't function that way on private servers, so it's going to be interesting to try that out when Classic hits, to see if that has any kind of impact on the Hunter meta. Back after lunch, Carg. Oh, see you, Kill. Thank you, man. Okay, let's see. So it seems like there's a lot of people voting for Druids, man. I think there's going to be this time around, I don't know what you guys think, I think this time around there's going to be a lot more love for the hybrid classes. Hopefully we can put the story out there that we're in patch 1.12, boys. Like, through the early stages of vanilla, some of the classes suffered, man. Warlocks for a period of time were considered free HKs, Druids were considered kind of a meme. In 1.12, though, the game's in a really good spot. Some people would potentially argue that it's the most balanced patch ever. And, you know, some of these classes that built up that bad reputation in real vanilla may not have that bad reputation this time around. You know what I mean? So even if Druids were in a pretty good spot towards the end of vanilla, some people wouldn't give them that opportunity to shine based on just the prejudice against them. But hopefully this time around we're going to get a lot more hybrid class love. Myself, I played a Paladin back during OG vanilla. It wasn't my main, but I leveled a Dwarf Paladin and I was an absolute shitter. And I thought they were so weak. You know, I really did. I thought they were so weak. I was like, oh my god, this class sucks, man. Like, it took forever to level, dude. I just remember, like, sitting in the wetlands with Seal Command on, just hitting those orcs and just being like, dude, this class is garbanzo. But now knowing what we know, it's just so radically different. I love Paladins, man. And I think of a bunch of different ways to level them efficiently. So we'll see what happens this time around. So the first, like, hot theory craft, so to speak, that I want to talk about is Double Paladin. So we've never talked about this one through all the streams. I don't know why this one slipped through the cracks. I think when you double up on the classes, people like to mix match the classes. You know, generally that's a good thing, kind of, to have, you know, multiple of different classes. But the good thing about Paladin is that you can get. It's not like you're wasting any buffs. Like, you're still gonna get max value from the buffs because you have so many different blessings and you have so many different auras. So I'm not sure what you guys think as far as what your initial thoughts are on the best way to spec these out, but I have something pretty exciting to present for you. So what I would present is that one Paladin would be going Holy Protection. So trying to stack any AoE reflect gear that they have access to, stuff like shield spikes, any food like Dragon Breath Chili. There's some trinkets and items that have, you know, a proc chance. So like when you're struck in combat, there's a percentage chance to do something, some kind of effect. Stacking any kind of reflect gear they can. Going Holy Protection. So going deep enough into the Holy Tree to pick up Consecrate, and heading down into the Protection Tree to pick up Blessing of Sanctuary, improve Righteous Fury, Blessing of Kings. And that's a great thing, because you have two Paladins, you can actually get benefit from Blessing of Kings. There's usually a better blessing if you're only one Paladin to use. It's probably going to be Wisdom or Sanctuary or Salvation, but the fact that you have two Paladins would allow you to actually make use of this Blessing of Kings, which I really like. So the first Paladin would be going Holy Protection. This first Paladin's role is going to be the tank. You know, you're going to be doing reflect damage back with Retribution Aura, you're going to have your shield spike, you're going to run into melee range, you're going to consecrate with Righteous Fury up, and you're going to get all the aggro. Now the second Paladin, this is where it gets really interesting. Let me go over to the other browser. Alright, so this is what the second Paladin would do. The second Paladin would go Holy Retribution. So the whole, like, point of these specs are to maximize your AoE potential. It is kind of an AoE grinding spec. And you're going to get stuff like Sanctity Aura, which is going to increase holy damage done by party members within 30 yards by 10%. So that's not only going to affect Consecration, that's going to affect Retribution Aura. So this is how I would build it as a Paladin. I would go down Benediction, we'll get 2 into Judgment, 3 into Seal of the Crusader, Seal of Command, 2 Pursuit of Justice, we'll get Conviction, we'll get 2 Red Aura, and then we'll get Sanctity Aura, and then we'll be done with Retribution for now. I actually think permanently. So you would just go down to get Sanctity Aura. That Paladin is going to be buffing Sanctity. And then you're going to go into Holy, you're going to get Divine Intellect, you're going to get Spiritual Focus, you're going to get Consecrate, and then this is really like the baseline of what you'd need to have everything on the table. Now, if you were less than level 41, I would basically, you know, I want both Paladins to pick up Consecrate at level 20. That'd be the priority. You'd probably respec at 41 to be like this, but you'd probably both proceed down the Holy Tree and pick up Consecration. Because Consecration is actually quite strong at 20. But that's the whole, like, theory behind it. You have double Consecration that are both benefiting from Sanctity Aura. And then both of you are judging different seals on the target. So one paladin will be judging wisdom, one paladin will be judging light. So if both of you are smacking that target, you're both getting both mana and health back, plus whatever seal you have active currently. So the tank would probably focus with Seal of Wisdom on and judge Seal of Wisdom, and they would be just focusing on generating mana as much as possible. The other paladin might have Seal of the Command on, or Seal of Wisdom on just to generate mana, and then be judging Seal of Light. So that second healer paladin who's going this Ret Holy could buff the tank paladin with Blessing of Light if you wanted to focus on single target healing, like really push that to the potential. Like if you're doing a massive pull, you probably want to buff him with Blessing of Light and then just, spam Holy Lights. The other good thing is that you both have spiritual focus here, so you can both throw on Concentration Aura and have 100% pushback resistance. So you can just cast fat heals on the tank paladin, which is really quite nice. But more often than not, you'd probably just be buffing Blessing of Wisdom. Let me shut up for a second and see what you guys think. Do you think Joanna will be first again? I'm not sure, man. I know he's got some stuff cooking. How heavily are you leaning towards Hunter or Warlock? Good question. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to tell. I mean, like I said, my brain tells me go Warlock. The class is everything I want in a class. My heart says stay true to your Hunter roots. We'll see what happens, though. Pally AoE is so whack until you get actual spell damage gear, aka Q40. Have you tried it though recently, man? I don't think it's whack. I solo leveled the Pally recently, man. It was freaking sweet. It was sweet. So you're getting double aura. So one paladin will go sanctity, one would go retribution. You'd both be throwing down these buffed consecrations, and
new blue post beta coming end of the month.
Hey, thanks for the $2, Irish. New blue post beta coming end of the month. Oh, man, I hope so, man. I hope so. Good to see you in here, Irish. Good to see you, Battle Buddy. Thank you for that. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the genesis of it. So let me go back to the other thing I would do is if I was doing this, I would itemize for stamina and intellect. You don't really need a lot of like strength or agi or anything like that. Like you would just want stamina and intellect. You would just want as much intellect as possible so you can throw out as many heals as possible, so you can spam consecrate on cooldown, and you let your reflect damage, you let the improved consecrations kill the mobs, and very high sustain. So also both get free mounts at 40. It's similar to the Warlock Pally thing where you both get free mounts at 40. You both have powerful oh shit buttons. You both have 3-minute bop. Oh no, one wouldn't have a 3-minute bop, but he would still have bop. So 1 3-minute bop, 1 5-minute bop. You have a plethora of buffs and oh shit buttons. You can play it actually, you're a little bit limited in the playstyle. That's one thing. You can't play it in a variety of ways. So if you were just to go single target to single target, the damage would be pretty whack. It's not like you're gonna die or anything, but it would be a very lackluster damage, single target damage. I really think where these two would shine would be like really pushing the efficiency of AoE grinding. Free mounts at 40. Don't you do a very long question? No, that is the level 60 mount. This is the level 40 mount. Yep. So this is double paladin. No, we talked about this stuff yesterday, but we didn't talk about double paladin. So this is the first thing. So it doesn't seem like we have a lot of questions or a lot with regard to this stuff. Let's see. Alright, we can move on to the next one then. So the next one I want to talk about is Double Hunter. This is one I'm still very much confused about. I want to believe that there is a duo leveling line of play for hunters. The thing is, the hunter class is just built to level. It's just designed to level. You're so efficient on your own. The kill speed is good. The grinding efficiency is good. Movement speed is good. You have like resets in the form of feign death, so if you get into a sticky situation you can just feign death and hopefully be able to recover from that. Hunters are built to level. One of their inefficiencies, though, I have to say, is their lack of AoE. Now you could go Rizaya status and pick up a Ravager and try and do it that way, but you don't really have too much AoE, man. You have a trap, you have a multi-shot, so you don't really have access to AoE grinding, but that's okay. You can go for that surgical precision, single target to single target, high speed questing efficiency, and just go from quest to quest and kill whatever mobs you need to along the way. So the class that actually I would put a hunter with, the class I would most readily put a hunter with would probably be Druid. It would probably be Feral Druid right off the bat, just because I feel like the hunter pet could potentially get aggro and allow the druid to like shred and stuff from behind. I think there could be an issue though. The druid could get threat because shred does a lot of damage. I don't know if a hunter pet's gonna hold versus a druid, but I'm thinking about hunter right now, guys, and you know, speccing them in an interesting way. Let me see. Let me pull up the hunter talent calculator. Do you guys have any initial thoughts on hunter? I think it could be the type of thing where you'd just be more efficient to be solo hunter, but I don't know. Let's see. Right off the bat, True Shot Aura is attractive to me. The idea that one could spec into True Shot Aura and give its attack power bonus to both party members, which is kind of nice, whereas someone could go BM, full on BM. Cargo, sup boss, let me hear your opinion. How fast do you think will lesser magic and greater magic wands pop up in the AH when Classic gets released? I know the method to do it on your own. How fast? I mean, I would imagine on every server there would be a niche of people who just really care about, like, that's how they get enjoyment from the game. They really like the professions in Classic WoW. They love the prestige of being like a craftsman, like an artisan on the server. Those people are very real, and they're you know, good people. So I would imagine there would be stuff up pretty quick. But yeah, it'd be pretty quick. But I think if I was trying to like really go super hard and I was trying to be as ahead of the pack as possible, I wouldn't plan for getting those. I would just basically level like I would normally do, and then as soon as I get 58 linen cloth, I'd go and craft a lesser magic wand, and then maybe I'd wait on getting the greater. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I would do. So I played like a priest or warlock or whatever. I'd pick up enchanting tailoring, and then as soon as I got that 58 linen cloth, maybe I'd wait it a little bit heavier, killing humanoid targets to get that cloth. 58's all you need. You craft that lesser. Hopefully that makes sense. Feral Druids. What was that? Sorry. You keep saying BM, but BM has never been good early game. It's something... Yeah, we're talking leveling, dude. Taco. Sorry to confuse you, dude. Yeah, it's a leveling workshop, man. We're talking about, yeah. Duo Hunter is like a menace in world PvP. I could see that. That would be a bad time for other people. Like, if you get opened on by Duo Hunter, you might as well just call it a ding dong day and just spawn back at the freaking graveyard, man, because that's very strong. You're not running away from one hunter, let alone two. It could be very strong. The thing is, I don't know if that would the overall XP per hour. I mean, one thing that's interesting, right? So hunter's a great leveling class, and what if we're building off of our past assumptions that questing is going to take you 75% of the way, and that grinding is supplementing your questing efficiency. Maybe double hunter could further boost that questing efficiency, and that you would focus less on grinding and just questing as fast as possible and just putting out more and more damage. And you do have aligned movement speeds. You do have multiple pets. You have a posse of 4 things everywhere you go. It could be interesting. Let me see. Let me look at these talents to see if anything looks compelling here. Nothing really looks too synergistic in the survival tree. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. So I'm really thinking it's really going to be between beast mastery and marksmanship. I mean, to be honest, my gut tells me just both go BM though. Both go BM, and because you'd have such high damage and shit, you'd probably just like go one carrion bird pet because it's got really good stats as the tank, and then one like cat or something like that. Maybe in a wolf. Would a wolf be a meme with the Furious Howl buff? Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking both BM though. It's just so good. BM is so good. Thoughts on Hunter Warrior leveling? I don't see a whole lot of synergy there, man. Again, you're taking a god tier leveling class and you're putting it with another class, you'll probably be alright. I don't see any immediate synergies though. It's not like Warrior can like backstab or ambush from behind. It's not like the Hunter can heal the Warrior or res the Warrior. There's no wipe prevention. It'd be okay. I mean, dual leveling in general is pretty solid, but it wouldn't be my first choice. 2 BM pets on 1 mage is a lot as fuck. Yes, absolutely. 1 2-handed survival, so we can loot the mobs, and the other one that's BM pulling the mobs. That's interesting, man. One is the loot bot. It just seems like it would be... Oh, God. It just seems like you'd just rather have 1 hunter. I don't know. But at the same time, if you were to do like some kind of dual leveling competition and put all the dual levelers side by side, I could see a line of play where people just went both BM and they like just crushed it and they did the quest so fast they just never died. Yeah, that's kind of what my gut tells me. You both just go BM and you go full aggro. You don't need to worry about survivability as much with your pets. You may just go both Raptor. Double Raptor would be sick. And then maybe once you get up to like here, let's see. Honestly, I personally like improved concussive shot if you're playing in PvP. But if you're head of the pack, you go efficiency, lethal shots, aim shot, Hawkeye. So what level? Yes, it's 40 something, right? Scatter shot. I guess one could get improved mark. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I probably would value mark a little bit higher. You know, one would be the marking hunter. That's like one of the first synergies I'm seeing here. So you would get this stuff. Yeah, maybe you do this just to get improved mark. It's another 15% increase to the range attack power. So one hunter would be the marking hunter, and then one hunter would be like playing the buff role. You know, True Shot Aura and Hunter's Mark, and the other one would be going BM. That's kind of interesting. There's some synergies. There's some minor synergies. What's the average time for an experienced vanilla player to get to 60? It's going to depend on your class and the strat and a bunch of different things, but you hear like rumors circulating of people doing it in under 3 days played. Yep. Yeah, so I don't know. That's about it as far as Dual Hunter goes. Where would I rank it as far as the tier, like a tiered leveling? I mean, it'd probably be tier 2. I'm not going to put it in God tier. God tier is reserved to a special few that just like complement each other so perfectly. I'll just show the God tier ones for those of you who didn't make it in the last streams, just so you can see it. We won't really go over each one since we've done so before. But the God tier, at this point, the God tier dual leveling combinations are pretty much IMO, double Frost Mage, Prot / Holy Paladin and an Affliction Lock, Balance Resto Druid with an Affliction Lock, and Arms Warrior Enhancement Shaman. These are the ones that feel the best. They play. They just feels like you have GM on, man. Then we have some strong comps as well. But if you guys have any questions about that, I can field any of those questions with regard to the God comp stuff. So that is Double Hunter. What is the next one we got here? Double Shaman. This is an interesting one we haven't done as well. Let me just grab a drink real quick. 1 second. You're going to follow Joanna's God? I think he's working on something new, man. Yeah, stay tuned. Shout out to Joanna, man. The original leveling legend right there. Oh, we got another Twitch Prime sub, man. Who did it? Shady White Guy 808. Thank you very much, my man. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. Very nice to have you here. All right, so what we're talking about, Double Shaman, right? We've never talked about this one again. This one's a little bit weird. What do you guys think about Double Shaman? So Double Shaman could be cool. First of all, can you get full value out of 2 sets of totems as Double Shaman? Let's say if you're going enhanced or something like that. Are there enough like valuable totems where you'd get full value from 2 separate sets? Let me think what you guys think about that first. Another Twitch Prime sub. Classic Bad, man. The Twitch love is real. Thank you, my friend. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Very nice to have you here. The water's fine. Cargos, you served in the military? I am actually, yes, I'm in the Army National Guard right now, the Cal Guard, '09 Sierra, officer candidate. How many shamans would be effective for multi-boxing? Is 2 enough? For multi-boxing? I don't really know about multi-boxing. I mean, I don't know. Has anyone multi-box shamans? Is it the type of thing where you just walk around and chain lightning stuff? Does sound kind of insane. I kind of have like a weird memory thinking back. I feel like I saw, you know, like a pain train of shamans rolling around doing something like that. Later level Storm Strike plus Elemental is dope. Oh, that's a great point, Tycon. So you're saying later on one would go Elemental, one would go Enhancement. The Enhancement would apply Storm Strike buff and the guy's Lightning Bolted? That is dope, dude. That is actually potentially really freaking cool, man. Let's explore that, man. Why would you want to really cast 2 of the same totems, honestly? But would it be the same? Don't you have different like types of earth and fire and air totems? No, double value is met. Okay, so maybe I'm looking too much into the double totem value. But one... Okay, let me take a look at the talents. Let me see if there's anything interesting about the shaman talents that would be good in a duo. Okay. Shaman. I'm not drinking real beer for once. Drinking some root beer. Different kind of beer. Alright. So Ellie, yo, you get Storm Strike. So what does Storm Strike do? Storm Strike gives you an extra attack. It's an instant thing you can use. In addition, the next 2 sources of nature damage dealt to the target are increased by 20%. Ooh, man, that sounds spicy, dude. What is the cooldown of Storm Strike? Anybody know the cooldown of Storm Strike? Grace of Air plus Wind Fury, Earthbind plus Strength of Earth, Mana Spring plus Healing, and Double Fire. Doesn't that seem good? Yo, Melderon's actually a shaman, dude. He knows about this stuff. What do you think about this, Melderon? Getting double value from totems. You both drop sets of totems and you like pull targets to the totems. Would that be like insane value? What's your drink? Yeah, it's root beer, man. 20 seconds. Nice. I was also a nasty girl. All 94 P. What is that? Oh, repair. Okay, gotcha. Nice, man. Cool, dude. Yeah, I'm over at Camp Slow. That's where we do our OCS here in Cali. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. That's a little bit longer. That's a little bit long. Storm Strike, 20-second cooldown. Still seems good, though, man. Imagine you can buff, like, the Lightning Bolt from your Elemental Shaman, man. Alright, let's do the Elemental Tree first. That sounds like the most fun. So let's go Convection, 5 out of 5. Call of Flame, 3 out of 3. Yo, would you guys have double taunt totems? That's kind of cool. How would that even work, though, man? The double Stone Claw or whatever, or the is that broken potentially? That'd be a really cool interaction. Double taunt totems? Oh, dude, that's funny, man. Earth's Grasp, so you get the yeah, Stone Claw totem increases the health by 50%. Damn, what if you both went Ellie? Yo, honestly, double shaman could be sick. What if you both went Ellie and you just globaled everything? That could be a line of play too, man. You're just like, alright, man, let's open up on him. And we just, like, Kamehameha blast the mob and they're just dead in 1 second and it's over. I actually really want to try this double shaman. It sounds so cool. Okay, so you'd probably go Call of Thunder. Elemental Devastation. I forgot, what do we say about this spell? This is good, right? This is good while leveling. Let's get 3 of these, yep. Concussion, we'll do 1 there. I don't know, Eye of the Storm, if you can't sit proc it, still might be worth it compared to 3% on this. I guess we can get it. Elemental Fury, increase the range, this is pretty good. Lightning Mastery. Alright, so one shaman is going to go Elemental, potentially going down to Elemental Mastery. Get this full suite of shaman stuff. 2 Earthbind totems and you could ping pong them in a large slowed area. Yeah, I don't think they'd survive long enough though. That's the thing, RD. I think that they would be done. Double Ellie would just delete everything? That sounds so fun to me. I don't know why. Imagine you just did the wombo combo. Both of them just do the lightning bolt chain lightning combo. Yeah, it'd be kind of mana inefficient, but that thing would be dead. It would be dead unless it's like a friggin' elite. It would be deleted from the game. NPC delete. Um, Double Ellie Shaman. I kind of want to try that, Melron. We gotta fuck with that, man. Double chain lightning is nice. Yeah, it's expensive though. Chain lightning is expensive. The reason double chamois is so awesome is because of Ghost Wolf. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I have that up there. So I've said this before, man. Like from level 20 to 30, before druids get access to travel form, shamans are moving around faster than anybody. Also, I feel like early game shaman leveling is really strong. You guys remember the demo? You guys remember how strong Shaman was during the demo? We did the dueling competition. Shaman was insane. At level 19, with Purge and friggin', I mean, they're able to use like two-handed bases somehow. But Shamans early are so strong. Like, you don't really feel the squishiness as much as you do later. So yeah, man, you're really damage per mana efficient as early enhanced with the big slow two-hander. And then you get up into the later levels and you go Ellie together and you start NPC deleting shit. Dude, that sounds so fun. Hey, what's up, Fernando? Welcome, dude. You still have mana problems? Maybe, though. I don't know. You literally cast, like, 2 spells and it'd be over. Problem with Shaman leveling. People sleep on Purge. Tank enhancement while Ellie with staffs that overheal enhance. Yeah, that could be cool, too. I really like this Storm Strike buff. I feel like you just have to try it out. Because imagine the enhancement Shaman goes in. It's pretty mana efficient, you know. He Storm Strikes once. That's all you really do. You guys, if you guys have leveled the Enhancement Shaman, Storm Strike is a little bit mana intensive. So you really only spend like one global's worth. Like you have Lightning Shield up, you might Storm Strike once, you maybe Shock once. That's about it. That's about all. You just want to front load a little bit of mana. So that's pretty much all you'd need. You know, you'd go in with a Shock, Storm Strike, and then the Ellie Shaman would just delete them from there and be able to benefit from the 20% increased damage plus all this elemental badassery. Oh my Lanta, dude, that would be insane. I really want to try that. Let me go back to this. So let me see how I do that. How I would do the enhancement one. So we got to get Storm Strike ASAP, right? I'll go Shield Spec just in case you're fighting multiple targets. Throwing on Sword and Board's nice. Improve Ghost Wolf. Thing is, like one of you wouldn't have improved Ghost Wolf though at 40. It's interesting how like movement speed talents like potentially get devalued a little bit in a duo leveling environment. Duo leveling if you get these complementary builds, but I still think it's probably worth having. Then we'd go Thundering Strikes. You might pick up two-handed axes and maces, but if you're sticking with staffs, you may not need to pick it up for a little while. Then you'd probably go at this point. Man, the thing is, some of the totem buff stuff seems a little bit more attractive in a dual leveling environment. What do you guys think about this stuff? What do you think about getting improved totems if you were dual leveling with someone who could also benefit from this? You can increase the amount of damage reduced by 20%, reduce the cooldown. Doesn't seem too good. Enhancing totems increases the effect of your strength of earth and grace of air. That seems pretty good, 16%. I don't know. Probably just get two-handed weapon spec and a couple points into dodge. That'd be it. Flurry, parry, elemental weapons, weapon mastery. So this would probably be the level 40 spec. Did I take one too many points, man? Yeah, so you get Storm Strike. That'd probably be what it would look like at 40. So one would go Elemental and one would get Storm Strike. I think that'd be really fun, though. You kill 2x mobs, 2x fast, but then you get half the XP and run out of mana. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, let's say you didn't use Chain Lightning. Let's say your rotation cycle was 2 Lightning Bolts, and that was it. I think that would kill a mob. So I'm the Enhancement Shaman. I walk up to a mob. I shock it. I hit it with a Storm Strike, and that's it. That's my rotation. And the guy behind me casts 2 Lightning Bolts. Pretty sure that thing is dead. And that would be it, you know? I don't know. Or you could both go Enhancement. That's another thing. I mean, what if you both went Enhancement and you both got benefit from Wind Fury Totem? That might be sick too. Like, and one guy could drop the other totem. There's just a lot of ways, you know, with a hybrid class like this. I don't know if Resto is a consideration. I think you're pretty much between Elemental and Enhancement, but it'd be really fun, man. honestly, Stoneclaw or whatever, the damage reduction is really strong for leveling. What I'm thinking about too is I want to see how good Stoneclaw Totem is. What happens if you put 2 Stoneclaw Totems down? Are you guys ever gonna get hit? Like, you have that. Each one of those can probably tank, you know, 4 or 5 hits, man. And then you got 2 of them. That might be interesting as well. It seems like you'd have different totems, like different totems for the job and different situations. It seems pretty interesting, man. I think it could totally be tier 2. Tier 2 leveling comp. Not tank 3 mobs, fire AoE totem and 1 chain lightning. That might be interesting too. You could play it around. You fire Nova totem. Yeah, that's true, man. I see what you mean, Carmilla. Yeah, I haven't messed around with Stone Skin too much, but this taunt totem is pretty good, I have to say. I think it's a slept-on shaman ability, Stone Claw totem. All right, so we'll go back to the theory crafting slide now. That's another one down. It's all stuff that we can think about, boys. All right, so we got. Oh, another thing is double wipe prevention. That's pretty dope, man. You have double wipe prevention. I value pretty highly because like. This is vanilla, guys. You will be punished. Mistakes will be made. It's just the nature of the beast. And the fact that you have double built-in wipe prevention at all times, as long as you have the reagent on you, is pretty nice. You can just onk, res the other guy, and you're good to go. You got a turnkey group, but you're probably incredibly fast from 20 to 30. Potentially have different damage types. Massive totem value. Definitely something worth considering, guys. Double shaman. So the next one I want to talk about. So we tested yesterday all the rogue combinations. So for those of you who weren't here yesterday, this is what we were talking about. We were talking about rogues going ambush spec. For the longest time, I couldn't think of an exciting dual leveling combination for rogues. I thought they were potentially the worst dual levelers, and I couldn't find any reason to, to really get into them. But thanks to Xrus, who I spoke with this morning, we had a nice chat this morning. Shout out to Xrus if you're still watching, man. We were talking about it. We were kind of optimizing it together. Last night we did some testing with this stuff, and I really do think this is no joke. This is my preferred healer with ambush spec rogue, and I'll explain to you why. So it's rogue druid. Druid's playing feral. Here's the playstyle. The druid is going to be going bear form most of the time because you have the hard taunt, so you can make sure that after that rogue opens up with ambush, you're going to be able to hold that aggro. Also, the druid's going to be able to accelerate the rogue's damage through a variety of ways. Obviously through Mark of the Wild, but also through improved Fairy Fire, or Feral Fairy Fire. Feral Fairy Fire is sick at pulling. You can stay in form, and it's like a 5-second cooldown, costs nothing. You can pull stuff with Feral Fairy Fire. And then that's going to accelerate the rogue's damage. It's going to allow you to pull really efficiently. Very, very strong. So you pull with the Feral Fairy Fire, mob comes over, you maul it once and taunt it. The rogue's opening up with ambush, the thing is dead. It just dies almost immediately. All you need is that little bit of maul damage, and it's pretty much done. And then the rogue basically gets the killing blow, and gets the combat. What is it? What is it called again? Reckless strikes or whatever. I'll go back over to it. Gets this remorseless attack. So in order to get remorseless attacks, you have to get the killing blow. That's another thing. It's similar to kind of like how Drained Soul works. The rogue has to get the actual killing blow. So if you fuck that part up, it could actually mess with the combat efficiency quite a bit. So pretty much the druid opens up, mauls, taunts, the rogue ambushes, and pretty much the druid is going to the next target already because you don't want to risk killing that thing. But for those of you who weren't here yesterday, you do a very wonky rogue spec, but it's very elegant. Like, all the talent points directly further your win condition ambushing stuff. You pretty much go remorseless attacks first. Yesterday we were thinking about going camouflage first because you really need this reduced spell cooldown. But then talking to Xrus today, he reminded me that you get ambush at 18. So remorseless attacks will definitely be best first. Then you go into sub, get an opportunity, camouflage, 3 into ambush. Then you start proceeding down the combat tree. 3 into gouge, 2 into sinister strike, 3 into improved backstab, precision, 2 into this, dagger spec, and blade fury. So this is really like once you have all this, you have everything you need. I mean, everything is icing on the cake from up here. You can actually then you start getting, actually I guess 5 in malice is really nice as well. But this is the playstyle. Rogue, the rogue goes into stealth, gets behind the target, opens up with ambush, and the thing, like 90% of its health is gone. it feels insane, especially at the lower levels, like in the 20s brackets, 20s to 30s. I feel like that's where it really shines. And even before you have ambush, just the backstab, backstab is pretty sick too. Stuff like getting 30% increased backstab damage. But the only thing about backstab that he reminded me, yesterday we might have been playing it a little bit wrong, in the sense that, if you open up with ambush and then you use backstab after, backstab costs a ton of energy, and you're going to be energy gated. So you might actually want to use Sinister Strike, because you've already invested talent points to reduce it and manage your energy a little bit better so that you can go into the next target and ambush it immediately. Anyway, let me see what you guys have to say about this. Druid is Bis, let's go. Wonky, but elegant. Wonky in the sense that it's very unconventional. NVSHD. It's very unconventional. It's the type of thing that seems kind of strange to commit this much, but in a dual leveling environment, I have no doubts. This is how I would level a rogue in Classic, man. It is so much more efficient than going solo. You were going from mob to mob, and they were just getting deleted. I can't stress that enough. The damage starts to fall off a little bit once you get into the really late stages, like 51 plus, I'd say. It starts to slow down a little bit, but even then, it's still very, very efficient. You're using no resources. The Druid is just in bear form, taking no damage. The mob's getting deleted. Then anytime you need any kind of heal, he pops out, rolls a couple of hots, goes back to animal form. You're back in business. Druid, Rogue can both stealth potentially, so you can avoid PvP confrontations. A lot of synergy here, and I do think this ambush build is really, really fun, guys. Very fun. Okay, so the Druid spec. I'll talk about the Druid spec for this. So one thing I really, really enjoy about this build before we move on is that if you look at all these talents, nearly every single point you're investing is directly helping you. There's really nothing sloppy. It's so clean. It lands elegantly upon Blade Fury. You're stacking so much crit. And look how much crit you guys have. So you have 45% from ambush. You get another 40% from remorseless attacks. Again, this is only the first ambush, but that's all you need on a mob. The freaking thing dies in one global. So you got 45 here, another 40 here. That's at 85. You get another 5 from Malice, so you're at 90. You get another 5 from Dagger Specialization, so you're at 95. And then you probably have some crit baked in just from the agi gear that you have on and stuff. So you're almost at 100% chance to crit on that ambush. That thing is going to get deleted, man. And then once you get so then you also have opportunity, which is going to increase the critical strike damage. What is it? Yeah, the damage with ambush. The ambush damage, right? The crit damage. So that's going to further, really just delete mobs. It's really a lot of fun to play, guys. And in the early levels, you're going to feel like you're cheating. It's really, really exciting. I'm happy you shared that with me, Xers. So I'll go into the Druid build now. This is another interesting thing. So when you dual level, you're going to pick up some talents that you wouldn't normally pick up, that are only really good in dual leveling situations, like you saw with the rogue one. So if I was leveling a Druid solo, I would go Ferocity, and I would get 5 points into Feral Aggression, because I want to get that Ferocious Bite damage later. But I would actually get Feral Instinct first if I'm playing with a Rogue. This is going to give you increased threat in Bear and Dire Bear form by 15%, and reduce the chance enemies have to detect you while prowling, which is as well. But getting more threat is good, man. You want to be able to hold that aggro so the Rogue can do his thing. So the Rogue can open it with ambush. If the thing's not dead for whatever reason, he can continue to backstab that mob or kill it while you hold the attention of the target. So after 5 points in Feral Instinct, I would get 2 out of 2 Feline Swiftness. I'd probably get Feral Charge, yeah, because you are going to be sitting in bear form. 3 out of 3 Sharpened Claws. Predatory Strikes. Probably go. I'm a little bit, on the fence here. But since you are sitting in bear form, I'd probably go with Primal Fury here. 1 point. Open up Feral Fairy Fire at 30 is very important. This is going to accelerate stuff a lot. Another 1 into Primal Fury. 2 into Savage Fury. Probably go 1 into Blood Frenzy. 5 into Heart of the Wild, and then you get Leader of the Pack. Here's another synergy between Druid and Rogue, though. So Leader of the Pack, a little bit underwhelming when it's just you solo, but you're giving the Rogue another 3% crit. He's going to be at 100% crit on that ambush. I mean, you have like 95% based on all the talents. Then he has the gear on top of it, which probably puts him at like 97, 98. Then you're giving him another 3%. So crazy. You're giving the Rogue so much crit. And then after this, you can go into balance, and you can go down to get Omen of Clarity. That's pretty much the Druid spec there. What's a good Warlock solo spec? So actually, I mean, it depends on what your goals are. Pretty much for most people, it's going to be going into improved corruption, getting down, you know, getting your improved drain soul, getting your suppression, getting your life tap, getting these things going, and then you pretty much go down and get improved Void Walker. That's pretty much going to be the best. There's a bunch of ways to level a Warlock, that's the thing. But one kind of build that we've been playing around with a little bit now that's actually really interesting is getting 1 point into Corruption, bringing it down to a 1 point second cast. So it's really in line with the global cooldown. Getting 3 out of 3 Imp and using the Imp for a little while. You're not going to use it for a really extended period of time, but honestly, using Imp is potentially the best line of play up until level 20 or so. And then you might want to switch over to a Void Walker when you start ramping up the multi-dotting potential of Warlock. Void Walker overrated, yeah. Yeah, man, Druids with some gear can deal shitloads of damage. That's the thing, though. I mean, Druids are really gear independent as well, so it's not too serious. The Rogue has to keep up with the daggers, though. If Rogue isn't able to keep up with the dagger progression, it's going to start falling off a little bit. But I think it's a very fun spec to try, guys, this whole Rogue ambush spec. That is legitimately how I would level a Rogue in Classic. It's the most exciting. It's the most team play-based one. You can even go into Hemo and Subtlety if you want to do some PvP stuff. But this is just the cleanest for me. It'd be so much fun. Will you do a leveling guide on where to go? Well, we're going to stay tuned for that, man. Yeah, we're going to do that eventually. Hey, I'm new here, but did you do anything on Paladin for leveling? Because Paladin seems fun to me because I'm playing one on current WoW right now. Yeah, we've been talking about Paladins a lot the past couple days, man. A lot of good ways to level a Paladin. You can check out my dual leveling guide on YouTube, and you'll be able to see some stuff there. Or we'll be doing more streams like this too. So, can you talk about why the Imp is better till 20? Well, Imp has insane mana basically insane regeneration in general. It does a ton of damage. You also have access in the tier 1 talent tree to this improved Imp, which is going to increase the damage of the Imp's Firebolt by 30%. The Imp deals a ton of damage. You can still kind of use it as a Void Walker. That's the thing. So if you have an Imp next to you, you can use it and pull with it. It's going to cast Firebolts and it's going to get initial threat. And you have to be very careful with your positioning because you're going to be a lot more delicate. If you're going to pull other mobs, you're going to be potentially in a worse spot than having a Void Walker. But if you are able to pilot the class with finesse, you're going to be able to pull with an Imp. It's going to be able to firebolt the target. You can then strip the aggro off that Imp. It'll start running to you potentially. The bomb will be dead by the time it even gets to you. And you can keep doing that triangle trapping method all the way up to 20. I don't know where the exact break point would be, but I think eventually the Void Walker would pull ahead because you're going to start multi-dotting more and more. But one thing that we talked about yesterday that I'm still talking about now, I'm still thinking about, is that pets do follow the 5-second rule with their mana regeneration. I think the Imp might be immune to this, though. They regenerate on some crazy shit. But having Void Walker taunt, you have to bind the Void Walker taunt and just get used to taunting whenever you need it, man. Because if you just have it on cooldown, taunting every cooldown, you're going to run out of mana with your Void Walker. And you don't want that to happen. That's no bueno. Yeah, I'm gonna make some emotes, MTV. Thank you for reminding me, man. I'm on it. I'm on it. People keep telling me to do that. Okay. Let's see here. So let's go back to the. Let's see what else we got on this theorycraft. So we talked about Rogue Druid. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I mean, let's get into some leveling videos. This is the next thing I had planned for this stream. So I got a couple leveling videos I want to go over with you guys, and feel free to ask questions as we go through this stuff. So the first one we're gonna watch is going to be, okay, maybe not this one. Let's see. This is the Classic WoW speed run. Let me see how this stuff is appearing on the screen. Leveling tips and tricks. We got some good ones here. 5 tips to level faster. Optimal group size in Classic WoW. Let's start with this one. 20 tips to level faster in Classic WoW, and we'll go through it. I'll provide some commentary on each one. We'll take a little bit of break. I've been talking a lot, just spitballing stuff. Let's hear some other voices for a minute here.
Dudes, so, like me, you're looking to get to level 60 in a more fast and efficient way. If there's any...
Whoops.
To perspective. What's up, my dudes? So,
Alright, here we go.
like me, you're looking to get to level 60 in a more fast and efficient way. If there's anything I can do for you in this video, it is that. But first, to put it into perspective,
That's
let's
Joanna.
check out what the world record is. Maybe it'll ease our minds a little bit. Oh, God, help us all. Yeah, so
real quick though, people are talking about Joanna and saying that 4 days, 20 hours is not that fast anymore. You have to realize, man, he did this back in the day with no PTR, with no test server, nothing like that. Not knowing anything that we know today. I still have massive respect for that world record. 4 days, 20 hours is solid. And that was done on retail servers, not private servers. Private servers have all types of bugs, even bugs that we don't even know about. So it's just a different beast, man. To say that you have a faster time on private servers doesn't mean nearly as much.
guys, this takes a while. Leveling in vanilla WoW takes a long ass time. So if I can do anything for you guys in this video, it would be to help you just even a little bit throughout the process, because it can be pretty grueling at times. In this video, I'm going to be talking about add-ons and the individual versus group-based play style.
Ooh, he's going to talk about group leveling? That is cool.
This is your first
I like that.
character on the respective server that you've decided to play on. Now, to start, for add-ons, the first add-on that I recommend you guys get is Vanilla Guide. This add-on is mostly really good at making sure that you're not wasting time in your level.
What do you guys think? You think we're going to have add-ons on the launch of Classic? I don't know if we will, man. I think if we have a beta, we probably will, because then people will have time to create them. But what do you think we're going to have a couple weeks with no add-ons? I hope we don't have... I actually hope we have a couple weeks with no add-ons. Just like 2 weeks would be enough, and it would be sweet. No add-ons at launch? Yeah, I hope there's no add-ons at launch.
So for example, it will tell you when it's best to train for your abilities, grab flight paths, collect quest materials ahead of time before you even accept those quests. It tells you when to train weapon skills. Overall, this add-on is really effective. It's going to help you out a lot for the leveling experience, so I really recommend that you utilize it. Vanilla Guide is also great about telling you the different kinds of coordinates that you'll need to know as far as pinpointing where a certain NPC is, for example.
So as far as Vanilla Guide, I would just make your own, guys. Honestly, it's not that hard to make your own leveling guide. I mean, there's going to be tools out there for sure, but if you have the time, man, just go to the database, sort the zones by how many quests are in there, and familiarize yourself with all the quests that pop up under that zone. You can go to Classic DB right now and go sort and see all the quests in a certain zone and start to kind of figure stuff out yourself. Because I don't know, in my experience, when you're following this vanilla guide, there's kind of a disconnect. Like, you kind of follow it, but you don't know exactly what they're talking about. There's something... I feel like you're going to be able to execute it a lot better if you make it for yourself, but just something to think about.
Or where you need to kill mobs. If you don't want to use an add-on to help you along the way for questing, but you still want to use a guide, then I would recommend going to Joanna's leveling guide. You can just Google it and it'll be right there. It was made by this guy who calls himself Furious Paul. This is the same guy that holds the world record for the fastest time to level 60. He even has an unedited speed run to level 60 from level 1 on YouTube. So I'll link in the description that series so you can check it out if you really want to. Alright, next on the list we have Questy. This add-on teamed with Vanilla Guide is really, really good because Questy is really good about...
And what level is duo leveling worth it? That's a good question, Cozy. I don't think I talked about it today. So IMO, the best time to go... I mean, it depends, man. It depends on your classes. So, like when I talked with Xrus today, he was thinking that Mage 1 to 10 is so fast in his mind. He did it in an hour 25 minutes. We were watching that video yesterday, which is insane. That he would get to 10 solo first. Like, both people would just go to 10 by themselves and link up at 10. I'd say for like most classes, the general rule of thumb is for you to finish the starting zone first to get to like 5-6 and then link up at 5-6. But pretty much it's just gonna depend, man. And if you really think you can make it to 10 really fast, then maybe you want to link up at 10. I think it really only starts to become an issue when you start getting to that next zone. You start getting to the Barrens, you start going to Westfall, you start getting to Lochmadon, something like that. That's where the group leveling really starts to ramp up and shine even more. But even in the starting zones, like killing Zalazane, killing those voodoo trolls, that's accelerated with another person, man. So at minimum, I would leave the starting zone and then link up.
Specifying exactly where you need to go as far as the different kinds of quests that you accept are concerned. So instead of just
what's the best duo for Warlock and Mage Horde? For duo for Warlock, like I said, it'd probably be Warlock Druid. I'd say Warlock Druid is really good, and Mage would be double Mage. If not, with another Mage, I might just go solo Mage. If not, I might go Mage Priest. Mage Priest might be next best.
vanilla guide where it gives you coordinates as to where to go. Questy is there to legitimately show you. If you were to look on the map, it could show you the different kinds of locations to kill mobs, discover areas, turn in, accept quests, all those different kinds of things. And it has a series of different icons on the map that will help to indicate what exactly you need to do for that quest. So it's really helpful. And next we have Cartographer, which is a really good map add-on. And since you don't have
Map add-ons are important. Make sure you get a map add-on if you have one available too. Is it possible to tank as a druid in raids and dungeons? Absolutely. It's my preferred tank. I don't know about you guys. What's your favorite type of tank to have in a dungeon while leveling up? I'm curious what you guys think about this. To me, it would be druid, but maybe paladin. Paladins are sick. It just depends on what dungeon, you know. Like if you're in the mid, if paladin has access to consecrate, and you're doing like SM or something, it might even be paladin. But I probably have on the alliance side druid tank, pally healer. I really like paladins in the healing role. On the alliance side, on the horde side, I would have a druid tank and probably a priest healer, maybe a shaman healer actually. I like the hybrids in dungeons. There's so much finesse you can do. It sure feels easiest with the druid. Hell yeah.
Coordinates mapped into the in-game UI. This really helps, especially teamed with Vanilla Guide. With Questy, you also have a toggle Questy button on the map, which if you turn off and on, you can help mitigate.
I think not having add-ons on launch would be a way to kind of create more of an authentic feel for people coming back to the game, but without doing it in like a changes kind of way. It would still be no changes. I would actually hope for a solid 2 weeks with no add-ons. I don't know if Blizzard can control that stuff, but I think it would make for a pretty epic 2 weeks. And the people who know a lot about the game are going to know a lot about the game. They're going to hit 60 regardless with or without add-ons, but I think it'd be cool.
Any bugs that may have accumulated
Default
from
UI,
Questy,
man.
so that will really help you out. Alright, lastly we have Lazy Pig. This add-on is really good about automatically vendoring gray items from your bags and repairing your gear, all just by holding the shift key. And that's really nice in that sense, because if you didn't want to automatically vendor those things, given whatever you had in your bags, you know, you have the option to. It doesn't just automatically vendor those things the second you open up like a merchant's window. Okay, so that's it for the add-ons. That will really help you as far as your individual playstyle.
Druid duo, huh? Could be okay. I mean, I think it could be okay. Thing is, you're not gonna double dip on the value of thorns and Mark of the Wild. You're only gonna be able to get one set of those. One's gonna be front. I would imagine they'd both be feral. One would be a bear tank, you know, taunting the thing, and the other guy would be behind shredding it. It wouldn't be bad. It just it doesn't blow me away in terms of like how elegant it is and how everything maths out and how all the abilities synergize with each other. But it'd be good. It'd probably be a tier 2 combo. But I would say Shaman Druid would be way better than Druid.
Well, let's start with class choice. Now, I recommend to go with any class that you want to go with because, you know, that's really most of what matters in this game. But if you want to choose a class that will get you to 60 as fast as possible, I would recommend to go with the Warlock or the Hunter because they have pets and they basically have very minimal downtime based on that.
Those have got to be the most noob-friendly classes, right? What do you guys think? What do you think the easiest class is to level if you're a new player? I would imagine it would be Warlock Druid. Let me think. Let's see if I can think of something potentially easier. Maybe like, Warlock Hunter, right? Is there another one though? Am I missing something here? Yeah, those are probably the easiest.
Alone. Mages are really good about leveling.
Hunter,
priests are really good if you spec properly into Spirit
Actually,
Tap
yeah, priests are pretty sick, guys. What about priests? Honestly, it's probably priests, but you would have to tell the new player like the right mindset, you know? Priests are super smooth, man. The thing is like Hunter, if you get on the wrong side of the math, the Hunter, I mean, you could fuck it up, but priests like you actually have self-healing, like it's a super efficient single target like damage cycle. Like, you throw up a Shadow Word Bane, you know, renew or whatever, and you freaking wand the thing to death, and you're fine. Like, I don't know, priest is up there. I think
specialization along the way. And then I believe at level 40 as a priest, you respec into Shadow, get Shadow Form, go from there, and it's a really effective way to level. Now, for speed's sake, I would say the best profession to run with, secondary profession that is First Aid, because it's a quick way to heal yourself and others.
Yeah, even First Aid. I actually kind of like this. I don't do this too much, like kind of watching videos on stream like this, but I like it. It brings up topics you don't think about. So First Aid, is there a class you guys can think about that First Aid is totally useless? I mean, you can find some kind of use for a First Aid, because First Aid is not going to interfere with your 5-second, your spirit-based mana regeneration based on the 5-second rule. Even a warlock, you can use first aid on your pet. Hunter can use first aid on your pet. You know, it's its own little thing. I don't know. I think first aid is pretty useful. Some classes definitely not as useful. Like you know, for a warrior or something, it'd be super useful. But I kind of agree with them. I think that every class should pick up first aid. A little bit.
If you're not a healer, of course. Save some time in that sense. So now another thing, whenever you get the chance, make sure you stock up on food and water. I'm sure we've all been in that situation.
That's another thing, guys. Another tip. One thing that it seems maybe a little bit counterintuitive, but some of the really try-hard mages who try and level as fast as possible, they don't even use their own freaking water, man. As soon as they get to the highest level where they have access to the next tier of water, they buy the highest tier of water ASAP. Because a penny saved is a penny earned, guys. So if you're leveling and you can save on downtime, that almost has the same net effect as increasing your kill speed. So if you're able to recover 50% faster, that seems really valuable. So spending your money on the highest rank water is definitely a valid consideration. Food and water if you have the money to spare.
We have neither of each, and it's kind of just a real bummer. Of course, if you're like a warrior, for example, you'll have rage, so you won't need drinks, but just keep it in mind, whether it's food or water, make sure to have either that you need. Another thing to consider is that res sickness does not apply before level 10. This is something that Vanilla Guide takes into account pretty.
Yeah, that's another tip, man. But one thing I would add on to this is that some places where you die will spawn you in weird areas. So, like, I don't know. I mean, it would take some experience knowing this, but it's something where you can tactically die and respawn at a graveyard really far away in a very strange location, and it can be very useful. It can be useful for you. So dying as part of your strategy, definitely something.
Well, so it'll tell you when it's best to die in a certain area because you'll release your spirit in a graveyard that's closer to where you'll turn in quests, and so you'll save a lot of time in that regard. And it's sort of like a free hearth, even when you've already used your hearth, of course. Now you may lose some armor value along the way, but the repair costs are negligible before level 10.
You know, another little tip I just thought about. It's a very simple thing, but you know, it may seem simple. But if you have to do something, like let's say you have to skill bandages, if you have to skill a profession, if you have to, you know, do something productive, rearrange your bars, something like that, do so when you're low on mana, like, or when you're low on health or whatever, so you can just let that natural regeneration tick in. Just weave that stuff in, like, during your downtime, so you can always hit two birds with one stone.
So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would also say to use key bindings. It may be a lot to manage at first, but it will definitely make gameplay more efficient in the long run once you've adjusted.
Use scroll on your mouse wheel, man. I love these quality of life keybinds. Scroll up on your mouse wheel, scroll down on your mouse wheel, click the wheel on your mouse wheel, like depress the wheel on your mouse wheel. That's another great bind. The buttons on the sides of the mouse. This is stuff that really doesn't take much wrist motion at all. Very accessible, easy binds. But, you know, make some comfy quality of life binds while leveling. Your binds while leveling will likely be different from your binds, you know, once you get 60, and create those really comfy low APM binds for you.
Important one, guys, is rested XP, because
for me as a hunter, man, I have apply hunter's mark on scroll up, scroll down. I think it's apply hunter's mark and send pet on scroll up. So I'll be able to deploy my pet, and then I can call him back with Control E. But I'll send my pet out and apply hunter's mark all in one macro, and then I start auto-shotting it down or doing whatever I got to do.
It offers double experience gain from killing mobs, and the max amount you can have at one time is 1.5 levels worth of rested XP, which is insane. And it's acquired after 10 days of basically not playing and just chilling inside.
Okay, so I'll comment on this as well. So yes, rested XP is really good, for sure. But let's say you're deep in some area where you need to grind, or you're doing some kind of quest or something like that. You potentially don't want to just hearth and go back to... If you're only going to be asleep for a couple hours... If you're only going to be asleep for like 6 hours or something like that, and you're deep in some area where you need to quest or grind, I don't even know if it's worth it to hearth back and get that little bit of rest. I might just stay where I'm at, honestly. I mean, this is something you definitely should consider, but, you know, I don't know. It's just as the situation dictates.
So whenever you log off, I would really recommend to maybe hearth back to your respective inn and just then log out, because...
Like, how many kills of 200% XP are you going to get that's going to make up for that? Of the travel time it's going to take to walk. Let's say it takes 5 minutes to walk from the inn until you're going to hearth to back to where you were at. What if you just killed mobs that whole time? Do you think you would be able to get more XP? I almost think like if you're only going to sleep like 6 hours, in that 5 minutes you'd probably be able to kill enough mobs where it'd be more XP than Hearthing.
Because that rested XP is going to mean the world. And just to put it into perspective, the Vanilla WoW Wiki, which I'll post below, the link to it, says that you'll gain 5% rested XP for every 8 hours of being offline and inside of an inn. Next we have Major City Cloth quests. These really help on both the Horde and Alliance. I believe eventually
What will be a good duo for a Paladin? Paladin is sick. Well, Paladin Warlock is my favorite, man. Shuggo66. Paladin Warlock is just BIS. It's my favorite god tier duo leveling comp. You can look at my past Twitch videos. I talk about it a lot. Paladin is really good. Paladin in general is just sick duo leveler.
they turn into dailies that don't really give you any XP or any significant amount anyways. But initially, I would recommend to save up your cloth. Specifically, I think wool
It's a good
and
tip.
beyond.
Honestly, I was kind of very skeptical of this video. I don't know if it was going to be kind of... this is a good tip, guys. Like, honestly, the cloth quartermaster is awesome. That's another thing. So, people will tell you that... this is what I thought, because I followed Joanna's guide for a long time, that the cloth will like depreciate. The amount of XP you get from the cloth will what was my point? That will not depreciate. I'm pretty sure it depreciates, or maybe it doesn't depreciate. What was my original point? Basically, turn these in as soon as you're able to. That's my point. Turn them in, man. Sometimes you're going to need that extra XP bonus. You're able to turn them in. I don't know if they're going to be available on launch. These cloth quartermasters, they come a little bit later. I don't know if it's in Dire Maul or whatever patch they come. But sometimes you're going to need that little extra edge to get a little bit further ahead of the pack. And being able to plan in these turn-ins is really nice. You're able to get a lot of XP from these. You're able to turn in wool, silk, mage weave, and rune cloth. And you're able to do it for like multiple cloth quartermasters.
Because turning in those cloths to your respective cloth quartermasters within your faction's major city is really going to make the difference. It's really going to help you boost just a little bit more whenever, of course, you are inside of a major city. So it'll be kind of efficient in that sense. I'd also say to get a bank alt and level them to level 5, because you can actually get enchanting and disenchant any item from level 5 in vanilla WoW. Also, of course, if your main character is running out of bag space, you can mail over some items.
Absolutely. You don't need to log into your bank alt too. For those of you watching right now, you can just create it and you don't even have to ever step foot in the game. You can still send mail over to the character.
Might find to be useful. Most importantly, I think for auctioning off any items, I would definitely want to have a bank alt for that, so you wouldn't have to make the trip all the way to your closest major city just to do that. Now, as far as
what is this? Thoughts on spell channel cancellation based on lag, something you use? What do you mean by that, Pamgen? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But, I mean... pretty much, at least with healers and stuff like that, you should always be casting and be ready to cancel your cast if that's what you mean. You know what I mean? Be very cognizant of the 5-second rule and where you stand with relation to your spirit-based mana regeneration. But especially if you're like healing or something like that, always having a heal like loaded up and ready to go is potentially a good line of play. And then canceling at the last second if you don't end up needing to use it, just anticipating damage and doing stuff like that.
PvP is concerned, I would say to wait until level 51 to do anything.
Oh, you mean spell batching? Yeah, I'm glad that there's the old school spell batching. Well, someone raised a good point though. They were telling me, they're like, Caragos, man, you want you know, these old school spell batching, but then you don't mind the sharding and the starting zones. Make up your mind, man. I feel them on that. Like, I almost feel though that like the completely no changes thing is already a little bit out the window. Just like classic is going to be a different game from vanilla. Like, there's no way to recreate the original vanilla experience fully. Like, you know, too much has changed, man. It's never going to be the same, even just based on the plethora of information we have on. So, I don't know. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm glad they have the old school spell batching, though.
In Alterac Valley, which you are able to start at level 51, they offer quests that can accumulate a total of 33,000 XP each, once turned in twice. Which is to say, the first time you turn in a certain quest in Alterac Valley, it gives you 30,000 XP. The second time you turn
in theory, if it were possible, how do you think Paladin Shaman duo leveling would be? I don't think it'd be very good, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think it'd be very good. I think that the damage would be low, and I don't think you'd have access to like AoE grinding potential. Really, it would be like single target, and then you'd almost have like too many heals and shit. I don't know if Shaman Paladin would be that good. It'd be alright. I mean, anytime you play 2 healing classes, you're gonna be in a very good like defensive state. Like, you're probably not gonna die, but I think there would be issues with kill speed.
it in, it gives you 3,000. 33,000 in total. And these quests specifically are ones where you simply just have to loot the other faction's corpses. Like, for example, if you're on the Alliance and you loot a Tauren,
Ret
once
plus
they
Wind
drop
Fury?
a Tauren
Oh,
hoof,
dude, that's kind of true, actually. That's funny, man. You'd go full deep Ret. Yeah. You would play, yeah, see, that's the cool thing about Paladin. You can play it in a variety of different ways. That could be a little bit interesting, but I still think, I mean, I compare stuff to, like, Shaman Warrior. If you guys have played Shaman Warrior before, it's sick. Shaman Warrior is sick. It really feels like you're, like, freaking cheating, man. Reckoning Wind Fury. Yeah, that could make for some funny interactions if the stars all align. You have a full Reckoning, full Wreck Bomb and Wind Fury. I feel you.
and turn that in at your main base for the quest called No Marigan Bounty. And for the Horde, for example, you'll
You're talking
have the
about
Night
the best duo builds. What do you think the worst duo build? All right. So in my mind right now, what I think the worst duo leveling build is. Let me think, man. It's probably sadly got to have Rogue in there, and it's probably got to have. Man, it might even be double. No, it'd probably be Rogue Warrior, man. To be honest, Rogue Warrior. I don't see a whole lot of synergies. You don't have the double stealth package. The Warrior would still be able to hold threat, you know, probably like with Rogue Strike and taunts and shit like that, and the Rogue would be able to blast it with ambush. So I guess my position on that is that while I do think that's the worst, I don't think it's nearly as bad as I once did, because this whole Rogue has opened up to me as a potential viable dual leveling class. So I don't feel that strongly about that. While I do probably think Warrior Rogue would be the weakest dual leveling class combination, I don't think it's nearly as shit as I once did if they spec properly.
Elf head for the quest Favor Amongst the Darkspear. And I love
War.
this tip because...
Alright, so you guys say double warrior, but hear me out on this, right? So if you were to go double warrior, imagine when both of you have your sweeping strikes package active, right? Imagine you're like level, 36 or whatever. You have sweeping strikes, you have whirlwind. Imagine if one warrior charges left, one warrior charges right. You get a couple mobs, you pop sweeping strikes, you collapse on each other, and you're able to whirlwind cleave. You will be doing some sick cleave damage, some sick multi-target cleave damage. Yeah, you're probably gonna be taking some damage. You might have to heal and stuff after, but I do value the multi-target damage pretty highly. I really do like it. Priest Druid is pretty terrible sounding. Yeah, it does sound a little bit underwhelming. There's a lot of inefficiencies that come to mind, but at the same time, patches like they're probably not gonna die or something. You know what I mean? And like, if you were a newer player or something and you told them to go Priest Druid, they'd probably have a pretty decent time. You know what I mean? Dual leveling in general is just pretty sick. If you put two classes that can heal and self-heal and have utility and buffs, you'll probably be fine. But yeah, as far as speed, I don't know how fast they'd be able to go. Both will go left. Warriors aren't that smart. That's funny, man. Priest Feral.
I'll take any reason to go in Alterac Valley. And I actually got this information, just to be fair, from Super
I see
Soka.
what you mean. Yeah, this guy raises a good point. So Mockery says double warrior sucks even with sweeping strikes. You're likely going to steal each other's rage. That's a good point, man. It's a really good point. Because you guys you generate rage when you land hits, but also when you get hit, right? So if you were double warrior, you may not have the rage generation to do that combo. It might actually be double warrior then, man. Yeah, you're probably right. Thinking about it. That's a really, really good point, Mockery. Bear Priest. Sounds like a good combo. It'd be slow. Yeah, I mean, I could see Feral Priest. It'd be alright.
He's an awesome vanilla WoW YouTuber, so I really recommend you check him out. I'm going to put the link to the video on this information below. Another piece of information that I got from another YouTuber was that grinding between quests actually yields a higher XP output than if done otherwise. And this was from the...
Oh, yeah, man. Obviously, yeah, you got a quest, but I mean, definitely grind between whatever. Another thing that's kind of a pro tip, though, is targeting mobs, looking out for mobs that are of the ideal level. Killing stuff that's too high level is generally inefficient. It's not going to give you that much of a bonus. So you're really not going to want to kill something that's, above 2 levels higher than you. Really don't even try and kill that, man.
The YouTuber World of Will. I'm going to put a link to the video where he covers this pretty comprehensively down in the description. So make sure you guys give those YouTubers some love, as they deserve it. Also, guys, if you can help it at all, try to avoid world PvP. If you see a hostile player, I would recommend to just stay back, see what they do. If they do nothing, then just go on and keep questing.
With that said, the warrior is such a high skill cap class. You could make it work, man. Like you could try and do it so you don't waste each other's rage. So imagine one goes left, one goes right, and you know, you kind of like tab target a little bit and get threat on him, and then you collapse, and then you do some massive whirlwind burst together that kills them perfectly. I feel, you know, with like warrior rogue, I don't know, it's just a little bit clunkier, man. The rogue really can't do much to help the warrior. I don't know. I think warrior could actually be better than warrior rogue still. Like if you had some really good warrior players that knew how to like still keep their rage generation on point, just because they have access to more AOE, man.
No way to avoid it in the end, especially on a populated server. So you're definitely going to be dealing with world PvP, whether you like it or not, in neutral zones like Tanaris or something. Anyways, again, if you're focusing on just getting to 60 with nothing else in mind, then I would say to try to...
Will be the best for farming gold. What do you guys think? Best gold farming class? I'd say mage. Mage, man. Yeah, mage and hunter are both really good, though. But then at the same time, my man Mooflake was telling me how he's doing Strath runs. You know, he's two-manning Strath and making like 700 gold an hour or some crazy shit. I don't know. It's that's the thing about vanilla. It's so hard to stay which class has access to the best gold farming. And mages and hunters are historically tier 1. But if you're a warrior and you can find some unique kind of arrangement where you're just crushing through dungeons and you have someone healing you, and you're selling righteous orbs and you're doing stuff like that, maybe that's dope too.
To avoid,
but it's probably like there's farming ZG Crocs. You can AoE them down solo as a mage. You can do Maradon. You can do Dire Maul tribute runs. You can do yeah, like Strat and Skolo runs. I don't know.
PvP. Or I guess I could say just try to not be the one who starts it. Defending yourself is something that you should do, but...
Yeah, two-manning Strat, dude. It's a thing. If you're like a badass Thunder... If he's a badass Thunder Fury warrior, man, he has someone healing him in two-manning Strat.
Try to stay clear. This is a little quick thing. Make sure to auto loot as it speeds up the process a little bit. All you have to do is shift right click a mob and it will collect all the items from that mob. I think it'll make a difference in the long run. As far as the group based playstyle, I would recommend for you guys to join the looking for group.
Dude, if you're going super tryhard, don't even loot, man. I just remember if I would sit down and grind for a while as a hunter and I had my bag full of arrows, I wouldn't even loot anything, man. I would just be shooting stuff.
Group channel to help you find groups for instances that you're able to run at your level range. I think it is important to keep in mind, though, that grouping lowers XP gain, but me personally, I still think it's necessary. Not only is it...
Man, you can AFK sell portals, food, and water while watching Netflix. That's probably the least effort amount of gold farming, though. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Important for quests that are a little harder to complete, like wanted quests, for example, Hogger. But it's also good for just making friends. I mean, you know, this is an MMO. But that said, guys, if you really want to solely just get to 60 as fast as possible, then try to avoid groups for the most part. Okay, lastly, I would say that instances with lots of quests...
Avoid groups? No, man, you got a group level,
is really going to be effective for you. Instances are also really good about upgrading your gear, so it'll help you throughout the questing experience for the next few levels.
Yeah, it's a pretty good video, man. Definitely plan your weapon progression for sure, and dual leveling, new meta, man. New leveling meta. God, it's got 200k views. Wow, that's a successful video, man. Let's see what else we got here. Leveling tips and tricks by World of who? World of Will. Let's check it out.
Hi guys, it's Will and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to be discussing my top 10 leveling tips and tricks for vanilla World of Warcraft. So to begin with, we've got
what do you think about,
for grave.
What is this question? Mind Reaper is asking, what do you think about Rogue Enhance versus Warrior Enhance? It would be Warrior Enhance. Warrior Enhance is God tier. Shaman Warrior is God tier. It is super strong. It's the nature of rage scaling. You're taking more damage from multiple mobs. You're going to be generating more rage. You have way more AoE potential than the Rogue. You have every 30 seconds, you're going to have Sweeping Strikes, Whirlwind, Cleave. You're going to be cleaving down so many mobs. You're getting full value from Wind Fury Totem. Warrior Shaman is God tier duo leveling, whereas opposed to Rogue Shaman would be like tier 2. That's right. If that answers your question, man.
graveyards. Res sickness doesn't become a thing before level 10, which means that before level 10 you can spawn at a graveyard without incurring any death penalty. In some cases we can effectively treat this as a free Hearthstone. Let's say you're out questing, for example, and you want to get back.
It's a good little point he made here too. Look in the Torrent starting zone. Think about how long that would take to run all the way out of here back to back to Camp Narachi. So much better to die.
Well, it's far more convenient for you to collect a couple of mobs and let them kill you instead of running all the way back. Yes, you will still incur a damage penalty on your armor, but considering how low level that armor is, does it really matter? I personally love this method because it allows me to get my quest in as quickly as I possibly can and move on to the next one, instead of being that guy that ends up spending another 5 minutes trying to run back to the quest point. At number 2 we have faster travelling for low levels. My next tip is quite a complex one, but let's assume here for a minute that you're going to play a character all the way to end game. This means that you can effectively plan out things beforehand. Now this tip works for both the Horde and Alliance in different ways. It primarily applies to the Orcs and Trolls for the Horde, and it also applies to Night Elves for the Alliance. At some point you need to pick up the flight points for each of the major cities in your faction.
What is this
the chances
point
are for the Horde you'll be thinking about doing this while you're getting ready for Ragefire Chasm, and for the Alliance Night Elves
it's
you'll
the
be
hidden
thinking about
path
while
thing?
you're travelling from Darnassus. For the Horde, I actually recommend that you get the Thunderbuff flight path as soon as possible before you even start questing. There's actually a number of reasons for this. The main reason is this route is actually quicker, and the second one is by the time you finish it you'll actually be level 2. As you can see here, I'm using a secret passion.
I wouldn't do that. One thing you would do if you were on a sharded environment though, there is a weapons crate down here. You can jump down here, there's a waterfall, there's a weapons crate, and if it's there, it's going to have a gray item that's like between level 20 and 40, I think. You can sell it, you get like 20 silver or something, which is pretty big early on. If it was there, I'd probably get it. I mean, I guess if it was there, I'd get it, right? But I don't know if there's a way to guarantee it's there. If it was there, it would be sick. But the thing is, only one person can get it. Even in a sharded environment, there's still probably going to be like 20 people in your shard, and there's a pretty good chance that you may not be the first one to get it. But if you could, 20 silver at level 1 would be sick, and then you might as well get the Ratchet flight path and just hearth back to the Valley of Trials. I wouldn't run to Crossroads, though. I wouldn't do that because that little bridge, you know, the bridge between the Barrens and Duratar, there's a lot of quests there, man. There's a lot of turn-in quests there. You don't want to skip that. So, you know, you could think to yourself, maybe I could fly from Orgrimmar straight to Ratchet or straight to the Crossroads, but you want to go to that little in-between spot near the bridge. So I wouldn't do this.
That actually exits out of the Orc starting zone and is going to allow me to run into Ratchet as quickly as I possibly can. You need to be mindful when jumping off the rocks, as there are mobs in the water below that will kill you if they see you. A pro tip for Horde players is that if you see this waterfall, occasionally a weapon crate will spawn underneath it. This will end up giving you between maybe 5 to 8 silvers worth of items that you can vendor straight away and allow you to actually have a bit of a kickstart with the character. As soon as you're out of the water, you can then pick up the Ratchet flight path, run straight to the Barrens.
So someone asked, what did you ask? You're gonna forego your Whirlwind Axe at 30? Yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to get the Whirlwind Axe at 30 by yourself, man, unless you have massive help. Alliance players, sometimes they forego the Whirlwind Axe. They go for Bonebiter and SM, the SM reward. If you are dual leveling, though, you're gonna be way more capable of getting that Whirlwind Axe done. I'll tell you. Maybe you could do it a little bit earlier than, you know, maybe at like 35 or something like that. But yeah, I don't think there's a problem, especially if you're Alliance. You can go straight for Bonebiter. Some of the warriors like Tribe that I spoke with, he goes right for Bonebiter. He doesn't even go for Whirlwind Axe.
And get the Crossroads one, the camp down at the south of the Barrens, and then into Thunderbluff. The entire trip took me 17 minutes, and then as soon as I got the Thunderbluff one, I was then able to Hearthstone back to the starting zone.
Do you have any resources that may show up the regions that each spirit healer services? That's a good idea, Classic Bad. Man, someone needs to make that, dude. That's a really good idea. That's a good content idea. If anyone wants to make that.
Ironforge, and then you can see here on this particular map that there are 2 points of interest. The first point, which is here, you're going to be able to drown yourself, and you'll end up spawning into sort of the Ironforge graveyard area. Or if you want to go...
Oh, dude, this is sick. What is this? I didn't know about this. What is this?
Forge, and
hold on, let me rewind a little bit.
A couple of extra silvers in my character's pocket.
The hidden path thing I'm not super sold on.
Where instead of running from Menthil all the way down through the different zones, you can actually swim across towards Ironforge, and then you can see here on this particular map that there are 2 points of interest. The first point, which is here, you're going to be able to
oh, dude, this is sweet. Actually, you don't have to do the wetlands run.
Sort of the Ironforge graveyard area. Or if you want to go to the Dwarf starting zone,
I did not know this, man. That is sweet.
At this point, you'll end up being ported to the graveyard at the dwarf starting zone. This is something that's
see it
really
work,
useful
though.
if you want to play a night elf, for example, and level from level 1 with your friends. You're actually able to do this method fairly quickly.
Wow,
and then move
dude.
straight back
I
into
wonder how
the
much
starting
faster that
point.
is. Anybody
So the
tried
next one
that?
I want to talk about, tip number 3, is instance quests for vanilla World of Warcraft. So here's a really good example, right? So for the Horde, you've got
Hey, Mara, what's up, man?
It takes maybe 30 minutes to clear the instance.
Headless, you sent me a message? Alright, man, I'll check it out.
It's about 3,400 XP at around level 13. That is only, of course, in my experience. Don't take that as granted.
Yeah, that's
Don't
what I'm
take
saying. That
as
tip is
fact.
kind of
That's
huge, right? That's a low-key tip right there. If you can just skip the wetlands run. I don't know. It seemed like he had to run for a while, though. It seemed like he did have to run a good amount of distance before he drowned himself. So I'm wondering how much faster that is. But at the same time, the wetlands run is pretty traumatic, man. You could get unlucky with the crocodiles, and then you would just take some fat L's. That might be worth it, actually.
just my experience based on the run that I did. So I got 3,400 experience for that run. I had all of the quests.
I've tried it. Gives a good
for
head start,
the instance
Sinzu.
that I needed,
From
right?
Mulgore,
And,
easier to get the
handing all
Barons.
those in, it took maybe 20
Yeah, you can also do it
minutes,
backwards.
give or take,
Interesting.
with,
Okay.
flying between the various quest points. And that netted me 10,400 experience points, as well as several green items. With the quest, that basically means that I got
So yeah, you can take the weapon chest and kill yourself, but it takes a while to kill yourself. How are you going to kill yourself, Sinzu? If there's that elite mob there, not elite, but that high level mob, you could kill yourself pretty quick.
But the emphasis on this, guys, is that you need to get the quests for the instance. The instances just don't match up on their own to standard grinding or standard questing. You need the quests. Not only do they give great experience, but you also get a series of really good items. On top of that, you also get things like money.
Yeah, I mean, the instances don't give... I mean, I don't know. I'd say doing the dungeon quests... So there are some dungeons tactically you'd want to do. I'd say if you have an all-star team. If you have an all-star team and you're like a wand user, you may want to just party up with the other all-stars that you're in touch with, like another warlock, another mage, whoever, another priest. People are very interested in getting that wand and knocking out a BFD run real quick. I think that's definitely worth it. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's if it's gonna be related to your weapon progression, you need something specifically for your weapon progression, like Bone Biter out of SM. Yeah, you could do it for sure, but make sure you got a group of badasses.
Just all round really good for your leveling experience. So definitely get all of the quests for the instances that you do. So
And yeah, if
tip
you're gonna
number
do the
4
dungeon, definitely
is
get all the
grind
quests.
mobs between quest point A and B. So for example, instead
I
of
love
just
the
doing a
backpedaling.
quest as you normally would, you know, let's say you've got to kill 10 mobs of a certain type. Once you're done with that quest, you then go and turn that quest in. Don't do that. Instead, once you've got those 10 mobs
What is
killed,
the backpedaling?
keep
I don't
killing
understand why he's
mobs on the way
backpedaling.
back
Just
to
straight,
the
bro.
That extra XP is really, really going to help. The time investment that you spend killing those is going to be far greater than if you just ran from quest point A to B. It's really good for you guys to do that. I have covered this in another video, which I'll leave a link in the description somewhere. Thoroughly recommend you check that out if you want
Cargos,
to.
will you stick the hunter? I'm not sure, man. I'm thinking about either hunter or warlock.
Rested experience. I can't put enough emphasis on rested experience. I see so many people who
Do we
don't
know
do
how
this.
add-ons will work in
Whenever
Classic?
You log off, make sure that you're either logging
No,
off
we don't,
in a
man.
city
I
or
think
an
it might
inn.
just follow the
Now,
Legion
for-
client, though. People were telling me that they're only going to have to make a certain few kind of adjustments to the add-ons, and they're going to be working within the Classic WoW environment. It's to be determined. Like we said before, I hope that we have a couple weeks with no add-ons, though. I think that would be sweet. What if you 3-man the dungeon with good players? Do you think the extra XP from less players would outweigh the increased time? Nah, man, I don't think so. I don't think you're trying to make your money off the XP on mobs there. I just want to get in, get out, get those dungeon quests, and get the reward. You're in there not really for the XP. You're in there to get whatever you need to increase your power level going forward. So with some type of weapon or something like that, it's going to ramp up your power level going forward. Have you done Warrior Cleave duo build yet? Possibly with Priest putting down dots and getting the kills to keep up Spirit Tap. What do you think works best with Warrior? Shaman Warrior. Jake Long, it'd be Shaman Warrior would be the god tier. The Wind Fury Totem is like having a third person in the party. Once you get Wind Fury Totem, it feels like the game is broken. Is really, really strong Warrior Shaman. Warrior Priest, not as exciting to me, but yes, if you were to play Warrior Priest, the Priest should probably save up the Mind Blast right to the end and get that Spirit Tap, and then be able to just keep up the sustain that way. But yeah, Warrior Priest is still good. Still like a tier 2 combination for sure. There's some really elegant stuff. Also, the RP of it is great. You know, Warrior, Healer, it's fun. But Warrior Shaman would be my pick.
Every 8 hours that you spend resting, you get 5% of a level. Now, for most
Oh,
of us, that's
wow,
1%.
dude. So look at that. This guy did the math. Okay. This guy's kind of legit, man. He did this 8 hours for 5%. This is what I'm talking about, man. Like 5%, that's 1 bar. So people always say you should rest in the inn, right? But what if the inn is like 5-10 minutes away from where you're at right now doing the questing? and you're only going to sleep for 6 hours or something like that, it may not be worth it to go back to the inn unless you need to vendor or something like that. Like, in that time, you'd be able to grind out a bar or two.
You know, just sleeping, for example, you wake up in the morning and you've already got 5% of an extra level waiting for you in rested experience. Now there's a maximum of 150% of a level may be earned, so that's 1.5 levels, guys. In other words, you can basically leave your character resting in an inn or a capital city for up to 10 days.
Oh, the guy in the last
If
video
you-
also
if you
mentioned
have
it.
a
Oh,
really
thanks.
time-intensive job, or you're going on holiday with the kids, maybe.
Would you
can
recommend
leave your
healing in
character
Classic?
an
I have been a
inn or
healer in
capital
WoW for
city
years. Don't know if I should leave it for
whole
good and
days,
drop
and that
to a
character
Warlock
is
or
still
Hunter.
going through a full rested
Yeah,
experience.
man, healing in Classic is awesome, man. The idea of downranking, and there's a lot of skill cap with healing. I really enjoy it, and I do love the hybrid classes in vanilla too, man. Like, there are some really cool specs out there where you're able to heal in raids and still do other stuff and be functional out in the open world, which I like. There's a really good druid spec for that. There's a really good paladin spec for that.
Now, of course, if you do log off outside of an inn or outside of a city, you're still going to become rested, but the accumulation rate for that rested experience is much, much slower. Okay, it's about 25% of what you get if you log off in an inn or in a city. And that means that you only get about a bar of experience, about 5% experience in 32 hours. It's really worth the extra effort, guys, to go to the inn, to go to the city, and make sure that you log off in them. Tip number 6, guys, this one's going to be fairly basic, but for those of you who are new to vanilla World of Warcraft, this is still going to be quite useful. You can only train every 2 levels.
That's another thing. That's another resource that I think needs to be made to the community a little bit better. Like a really comprehensive list of all the classes' ability progression. That's another big factor. Like knowing when to go to the cities, because I'm sure we've all made that mistake. We go to the city and we go to train, we're excited, and it's pretty much nothing that's really moving the needle. So really knowing when to go to the cities is very big for sure. How would you rank the healers in Classic? I don't know if I'd be in a position to, man. I don't have a ton of experience healing personally. All I'm saying is, what I would say to you though, 21 Wings, is that vanilla is a hard game to rank classes in a very set in stone way. It's very, very hard to do so because there's so much gray area. There's so much of a reliance on consumables and items, and player skill and stuff that is very, very hard to say that this class is, potentially better. Now you can kind of find some unique things about classes, like as a general thing, like paladins are extremely efficient single target healers, really good tank healers. Shamans are like smart healing in the form of chain healing. They're pretty unique in that sense. Different healers have kind of their own unique niches type thing. Druids have potential good raid healing with the healing over time spells. Priest is kind of just a catch-all, really strong healer. But to rank them, it's tough.
Level 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. You can only train at those levels. Don't bother trying to find a trainer, at level 3 or level 5. Really simple tip there, guys. Don't waste your time trying to find training points outside of those times. Of course, you can still level your professions, etc., but you will not be able to buy any new abilities between odd-numbered levels. So that goes all the way up to 60, guys. So at 59, for example, 57, you're still not going to be able to buy any new skills. It's only every even number where you can actually buy skills. And another thing to mention with this, guys, is that if you look ahead of time, so you look where you're going to be in 2 levels time, do you really need those skills? So for example, the warrior,
He raises some good points, man. I mean, I don't agree with everything
level
he's saying, but he seems like he's more or less, putting out good information. World of Will. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours now. Cargus, how long did you play vanilla WoW before you realized you were gay? It's a good question, man. I don't know if I've come to that realization yet. Thank you for the great feedback. But yeah, we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna pass it off to Def Camp. So I'm sure you guys know who Def Camp is. He's a close buddy. He's a friend of the channel. He's kind of new to streaming, as am I. But he is streaming now, so I'm gonna host him now, and then feel free to continue watching Def Camp. I'm gonna stream every day, every weekday. So for about 2 hours, I'm gonna stream from 11:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. PST. So stick around. Tomorrow we got more coming. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and host him now, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.